All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Weekly Thursday Scam Awareness live stream from Scam Aware 101. Welcome. So you got a couple people in the chat already. Good to see you. As usual, we'll wait till 5:50 to get started. But in the meantime, hit that heart, hit that thumbs up, give the video a like. Let's see if we get as many people as possible into the live stream here. Lots of good stuff to go over today. Lots of new scam examples, including text message examples, phone call examples. Bunch of impersonation scams to go over, IRS impersonation, tax-related scams. Need to protect that tax refund, right? And today we're going to talk about some scams to watch out for, so you could do just that. Click that heart button, say hello in the chat. Grab your favorite Scamaware 101 coffee mug and cup. Get it filled up. We get started here in a few minutes. 4 more minutes. We start at 5:50. So give everybody a chance to join here. In the meantime, say hello in the chat. We have a vertical live stream going and a regular widescreen version going of the live stream. Unfortunately, it's 2 separate chats, but I am monitoring both. There he is. Looks like we got John. What's up, John? Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the live stream. Good to see you as always. Just give everybody a chance to join. Lots of good headlines to go over. Lots to look out for in the scam world. Thank you for joining our live stream. We'll get started in 3 minutes. At 5:50, we're going to get started here. Go over some of the latest scams out there, see what the trends are, see what scams to watch out for, see what kind of warnings from law enforcement are going around, and which scams are picking up that we need to protect ourselves from. You know, awareness is key when it comes to protecting yourself and your loved ones from scams, especially seniors, your older loved ones. And right now, we got some IRS and tax scams going around, Social Security scams going around, some impersonation scams, some law enforcement impersonation scams. It's the Wild West out there. So in about 3 minutes, we're going to start going over some headlines, and then we'll go into some examples of these scams. And we do this every week to spread awareness. Trying to put something good out there. In the meantime, you're just joining us. Click that heart. Click the thumbs up. Give us a like. We'll see if we get some more people in the chat here into the live stream. We usually get a pretty decent crowd every week. Have a good time. 2 more minutes to go. We'll start jumping into some headlines. Say hi in the chat. Let us know how you found us. If you're not a subscriber yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel. The more subscribers we get, more likes we get, the more our content will spread. Getting started in 2 minutes here. 2 minutes we're getting started. Go over some of the latest scam trends and scams to watch out for. Have some interesting headlines too. Lots going on. I'm going to show you some real examples. See what kind of warnings are out there. Get started in about 2 minutes. Get close to 1 minute here. 5:50 we're getting started. Click that heart. Give us a thumbs up. Say hello in the chat. Get started about 1 minute here. All right, cool. 550. Welcome. Welcome to our weekly live streams by ScamAware 101, where we try to spread awareness about the latest scams, the trending scams to be aware of. Because scammers getting more clever these days. They're using more and more advanced tricks, more and more advanced technology, and you got to stay ahead of it. And awareness is key. So we do this every week to spread awareness. We go over some of the latest scams. We take a look at the headlines from the past week, which we're going to kick off in a moment. If it's your first time joining us, say hi in the chat. Click the heart. Give us a thumbs up. Let us know how you found us. You can also visit our website and join our email list for free. We send out some scam awareness tips and some reminders when we do our live streams. So it's all good stuff. So welcome to the live stream. Don't be afraid to say hi. And let's get started with our first headline here. By the way, I'm running an ad blocker, which I'll talk about later on in the live stream. So as we go through these headlines, you might see some of these pop-ups saying, disable your ad blocker. But it's awesome because that tells me it's working. So I'll share that ad blocker info with you too later on in the stream when we're talking about software as well. All right, our first headline, APS warning about scammers targeting Valley customers. APS said if you have questions about your bill, contact the company directly. So APS is the utility company over in Phoenix. This week is National Consumer Protection Week. By the way, that's right, happy National Consumer Protection Week. And APS is urging its customers to avoid utility scams. Fraudsters will go to great lengths to steal identities and money, even scouring public information available through social media to appear more convincing. According to APS, one of those scams is contacting customers with a threat to shut off their power. Most utility companies will provide multiple notices before power is turned off, according to APS. There will also never be a demand by the utility company for immediate payment over the phone. The scammers will likely demand immediate payment for customers using prepaid debit cards, gift cards, cryptocurrency, or third-party digital payment applications. Spoofing utility companies is also an issue. That's when scammers make it look like they are calling or texting from the utility company. Scammers will also use digital means to target customers through smartphones and online. Sometimes QR codes and text messages will be sent. So there's a lot to unpack in this news article, so I'll unpack it in a minute for everybody. Fraudsters will claim to be a utility representative and send a link or QR code to pay an outstanding balance, APS said. If you have any questions about your bill, contact the company directly. So just to unpack that a little bit, what that is warning us about a utility company scam. So your power company. And there's a lot of that going on. There's a lot of scammers reaching out to people and they're impersonating their power company. And they'll threaten over the phone that they're going to shut off your power unless you make payment immediately. And that's what this is warning us about. We usually see some warnings about this every week when we go over the headlines in all different cities, all different areas, because it's a pretty common scam going around out there. So be suspicious of any scammers or any calls you get that they say they're your power company, they say you're a utility company, and they're threatening to turn off your services. Be suspicious, even if the caller ID says that it's the power company's name and number, because you cannot trust caller ID. So that's the first headline, warning us about utility scams. Take a look at our next headline. Barron County residents lose $50K to scammers. Sheriff issues warning. All right, so let's see what happens to these victims. From computer virus hoaxes to grandparent scams, both which we're going to talk about, fraudsters are targeting locals. Here's how to protect yourself. All right, let's see what they have to say. The Barron County Sheriff's Office is warning residents about a surge in scams that have cost locals nearly $50,000, urging the public to stay vigilant and avoid falling victim to fraudulent schemes. So the Sheriff's Department wants to alert the public about several scams that have taken place over the past couple months, with a total loss of almost $50,000 to residents in Barron County. Scams change daily in our area, so the best bet is to never give out any information when someone calls you. Never pay cash, gift cards, or money orders, or Bitcoin. If it is too good to be true, then it probably is. And we need everyone to hang up or don't answer if you don't know the phone number. So those are some tips and warnings coming from Barron County Sheriff's Department, which a lot of them are pretty good. We'll actually talk about some of those in our red flags later on in the live stream. But they continue to warn us about some scams. So let's see, a computer virus. A call or email you get says your computer has a virus or has explicit material on it, and we can help remove it, but we need you to pay in Bitcoin or gift cards. Yeah, they call it computer virus, but we usually call it tech support virus, which we'll actually discuss a little later in this live stream as well. Lots of examples about tech support viruses coming up, and that's an important one to be aware of, especially for older folks out there. They seem to be the ones most commonly victim of these tech support fake computer virus scams. This article also mentions grandparent scam. We'll be talking about that one later too, but that's when a scammer calls up and they impersonate your grandchild or a police officer. It says that your loved one's been in an accident. And we got a nice video clip coming up with that later on in the live stream too. Publisher clearinghouse. If you win a prize, you don't have to pay the tax ahead of time or a fee to get your winnings. Right, these publisher clearinghouse scams, they tell you that you won a lottery, but then they ask you to pay fees or taxes ahead of time. So you think you're paying taxes and fees on $1 million, which will be no big deal because you're about to be a millionaire. But in reality, these scammers are stealing the so-called taxes and fees without you realizing it. And then you never get your millions of dollars. So yes, publisher clearinghouse scam. And this one pops up every couple of weeks. This one seems to pop up, and it's picking up steam. I think we're going to be hearing more about these publishing clearinghouse and fake lottery scams. Next one they say is rental property scams. Always view the property in person before paying any down payment. Never pay without seeing the property. It is suggested that property owners sign up with our Register of Deeds program to make sure your property is protected against possible fraudulent recordings. PropertyFraudAlert.com. I don't know anything about that. But the scam itself I'm familiar with, and that's the rental property scams. It's usually somebody claims that they own property and it's for rent. And they'll get a down payment from you and send you paperwork making you think that you're getting a rental apartment. And the day comes for you to move in, you're already paid. And lo and behold, you find out that you were scammed. That person doesn't really own the property. And he takes off with your deposits and your money. So that's rental property scams. And pictures, extortion cases. Caller threatens to release pictures of you unless a fee is paid. Yeah, these extortion scams are picking up a little bit too. You got to watch out for those. Lots of fake extortion too. Lots of emails pretend that they have info on you. But anyway, so that's a few scams that are being warned by Barron County Sheriff's Office. And it sounds like all those types of scams, they have victims, that fell for it and lost a lot of money in their county there. So good on them for sounding the alarm and letting the public know. And we're going to talk about a few of those scams later on in the live stream too. Got lots of good examples to go over. So that was our second headline. If you're just joining, say hello in the chat, click the heart, click the thumbs up. We're just going over some recent scam headlines, see if we can see some scam trends to be aware of. This way you can protect yourself and your loved ones from these scammers. Next headline. I don't think I could pronounce this. Cape Girardeau. That's what we'll go with. That's what I'm calling it. Cape Girardeau PD warning of phone call scam. Let's see what they're warning us about. According to Cape PD, scammers are calling folks claiming to be part of the police department or another agency and asking victims for payments through the phone. The department said they would never ask you for a payment over the phone. That's how you know it's a scam. Officials say these scammers can make the number appear to be coming from Cape PD. And they don't give us any other details about that. But there's a couple important items mentioned in this warning here. And, we said it once already, but I'm going to say it 100 times during this live stream because people need to realize this. The line is, officials say these scammers can make the phone number appear to be coming from Cape PD. And we're going to be hearing that a lot because that's what these scammers are doing. They're making the caller ID show the phone number of who they're impersonating. So when they're calling up victims, And they're impersonating police departments and sheriff's offices, for example, your banks. The phone number that appears on the caller ID, even though it's a scammer, the phone number will show the police department or the sheriff's office or the bank that they're impersonating. So scammers are able to manipulate what the caller ID shows, and it's important for people to be aware of that. Mention that to your friends, your family, your loved ones, because a lot of victims, we hear their story, and the reason they fell for the scam was they saw the phone number under caller ID and thought that they could trust that. They didn't realize that scammers manipulate the number that shows. So important to be aware of that, and that's one of the things that Cape PD is warning us here in this warning and this scam alert from them. As far as the specific scam, they don't give us much details about it. They just say people are impersonating the police department. They're calling victims and impersonating the police department. But we have a couple other headlines that are going to be mentioning those, and this is probably going to be an arrest warrant scam, which we're also going to be talking about. Arrest warrant scam and jury duty scams. I won't dive too much into it here because, like I said, there's probably some more headlines about it that we're going to go over. So that's a scam alert from Cape Girardeau, Missouri. But again, even these scam alerts and these headlines might be coming from a certain area. These scams really, they're nationwide. Worldwide, a lot of them. We're going to have some headlines from overseas too. And they're dealing with a lot of the same stuff we are in the United States. So let's take a look at another headline here. Colorado Attorney General, warning of increase in blackmail scams. Phil Weiser, Attorney General for Colorado, is warning people of a blackmail scam his office says is on the rise. These phishing scams will often contain threats of blackmail and will often come via email to unsuspecting victims. While each scam is different, bad actors will include your personal information, which is often publicly available, to try and make the message seem more legitimate. Which is true. It's important to remember that scammers have access to, I'd like to say they have access to things about us that we forgot about ourselves, right? We all have a file being sold on the dark web, and scammers use this file to tailor scams to target us. They'll call up, they'll already know some of our bank account numbers, they'll already know our social security number, they'll know our families and friends' names, and they'll use that information to gain our trust. But let's continue with this warning here from the Attorney General of Colorado, warning us about these blackmail scams. The Attorney General's office says sometimes the letter will threaten to reveal embarrassing or otherwise secret personal information, often in a sexual nature, to recipients, friends, and family. The office has provided a sample letter that you can view here. I'm not going to open this letter because the letter is kind of graphic and has lots of swears and curses in it, and I don't want to violate any YouTube terms of service by reading the letter or bringing it up. But the main takeaway here is if there's, I've actually gotten a lot of these scams too. They're just emails going out, and they're very threatening. They say that someone's got access to your computer. They say that they've recorded you. They say that they have your web browsing history, and they're asking for Bitcoin. Otherwise, they're going to release all that personal information to the world. So this scam is very common. So watch out for it. That's almost a second warning. So that was the Colorado Attorney General warning us. But that type of scam was also included in the Barron County headline. Yeah, it listed some common scams people were encountering. And they had that scam on there too. So it sounds like the extortion scams are on the rise as well. So watch out for those extortion scams. The best thing you can do is not keep anything compromising on your device. Welcome to the live stream. If you're just joining us, we do this live stream every week, Scamaware 101, where we go over the latest scam trends, the latest scam headlines. We see which scams are becoming more popular. We check the warnings out there. Just to stay aware and ahead of the scammers. Awareness is important. The scammers are always coming out with new tricks, new scams, new technology, new capabilities to scam us, right? So every week we do this live stream. It's a free live stream where we just go over the latest scams, latest scam headlines. We usually go for a few hours. I got my coffee mug here, and I got my other coffee mug here. So we're going to see how long we could go tonight. But we're just getting started here, and we're just going over the latest headlines. We're about 5 headlines in out of about 22 more. So all good stuff, all good scam information, scam awareness information coming up. It's important to notice stuff. You want to be able to protect your loved ones, protect yourself from these scams. Awareness, just awareness of little details that you may not have been aware of before will be enough to help identify a scammer. And we're also going to go over some red flags as well once we get through the headlines. And we're going to go over a lot of scam examples, including recent IRS and tax scams, because it's tax season and the scammers are taking advantage of that. So we'll talk about some IRS and tax scams that are circulating to watch out for. Protect your refund fund from scammers, and lots of other good stuff coming up. So if it's your first time joining us, click that like button, click the heart, say hello in the chat, subscribe to our YouTube channel, help us out, and you can also subscribe to our free email list as well by going to scamaware101.com. I just realized that the logo wasn't showing. Thank you for the heads up, Bart. All right, let's go to our next headline. This one's coming from Colorado, too. Scammers exploit online job seekers. With this type of scam, the scammers not only steal money, but they now have access to victims' personal information that could further impact them financially. Let's see what kind of details there. It sounds like a fake employment type of scam here. The Denver Police Department is warning the public about scammers targeting potential online job seekers. The patterns, stories, and methods used by the scammers are consistent, but the way the suspects receive and steal victims' money changes. Recently, the trend has been the scammer texting the victim and claiming they're a recruiter with a job opportunity. We have some examples of these text messages we could show you too. I have a bunch of fake employment text messages that are coming in. The scammer often asks the victim to fill out an application online or requests money that they claim will be repaid. In a recent Denver case, the victim explained to the police that they were contacted by several different online companies, and for each of the companies, the victim was asked to pay upfront with the company, saying they would reimburse the victim. The victim was asked to send $500 for cryptocurrency, and the employer said they would pay the victim $3,000, but they didn't pay them back, according to the media release. We'd love to hear a little bit more of that narrative. In another incident, the victim was paid $200 for training and was told to buy a certain amount of cryptocurrency, police said. The scammer said the victim would be paid double for their work, but were paid nothing. The company also requested the victim to fill out tax forms like I-9, 1090 form to send back to them, the media release says. They also requested the victim download software on their computer and phone for communication with employer. So it's like, wow. So they got all their private information from tax forms that they filled out. They got onto their computers and probably installed malware and viruses. And it got their money. The total financial loss for the victim was $8,700, according to police. With these type of scams, the scammers not only steal money, but they now have access to victims' personal information that could further impact them financially. When looking for online jobs, red flags could indicate a potential scam. Some are requests for upfront payment. That's the number one red flag for these employment jobs. If they're asking you to pay, there's something wrong. And sometimes they'll ask you to purchase equipment and to send it in. Use your own money to purchase equipment, and that's a red flag too. They should be providing you equipment, not telling you to purchase equipment and to send it to them. More red flags: asking for sensitive personal information too early, vague job descriptions, a company with little or no online presence, pressure to sign up quickly, promises of unrealistic earnings, and communications solely through email or text with no phone contact option. The Denver Police Department is encouraging everyone who has had these communications to be cautious and research the company before providing any personal information. Yeah, a lot of these employment scams, it's interesting that they're targeting victims by text message. That's how they're initiating the conversation. And we have a few examples that we're going to share later in the live stream too if we talk about employment scams. Welcome to the live stream. See a couple more people here. Click that heart. Say hello in the chat. Let us know you're watching. We gotta keep going with these headlines here. We got lots of scam headlines to go over. Be aware of. Lots of warnings coming out there. This one's from the BBC. So this is an international one. I do get a kick out of the warnings coming from other countries because they're all very similar to the warnings we're dealing with in our country. So, fake PC scam warning issued by police. I think this one's coming out of the UK. Scam calls from people pretending to be police officers, and we just read about another headline from US about that, have been reported across the county, Derbyshire police have said. The force said fraudsters have been calling police using names such as DC John, DC James, there's a whole bunch of fake names here, in order to access cash. The scammers claimed they were investigating an unauthorized use of the person's bank card and advised victims to keep the call secret. Yeah, that narrative comes up a lot with these scammers, and we're going to talk about that more in the live stream too. But there's this common narrative that scammers will use to trick a victim. They'll say that someone has access to your account, you need to move the money. And that's how they trick victims into transferring their money out of the account. And it sounds like that's happening across the pond too. Police have urged anyone who receives a call like this to contact officers immediately. The force said these type of calls were linked to courier fraud, in which victims are encouraged to withdraw cash and give the money or bank cards to a courier. Yeah, scammers using couriers as well these days. They'll send somebody there to pick up the money in person. Police said no force in the country would contact someone asking for banking information or to withdraw money to aid an investigation. Criminals will often target areas where they know elderly or vulnerable people live, so please share this message with your friends, family, and anyone who may benefit from this advice, a spokesperson said. If you or someone you know receives a call of this nature, please report it. Yep. Yeah, so over in the UK, they're experiencing the same type of scams we are, where the scammers impersonate a police officer, and they try to scare the victim into paying money, usually by telling them there's a warrant issued for their arrest, or there's going to be if they don't pay immediately. We actually did a video about fake arrest warrant scams. It's on our YouTube page, YouTube channel. It's a pretty common scam. Every week we're seeing warnings about these sheriff impersonation, law enforcement impersonation. They're calling victims up and telling them they have a warrant out for their arrest. And they'll even threaten them. They'll threaten them and say, we're going to send a deputy out there right now if you don't make payment immediately. Because that's what scammers do. They try to intimidate you and threaten you. Yeah. If you're just joining us, say hi in the chat. Click the heart. Click the thumbs up. Let us know you're watching. Just going over the latest scam headlines, letting you know what to be aware of, how to protect yourself and your loved ones. Toll road scam. Here we go. Right now, this is the most common scam going around right now is the toll road scams, aka unpaid road toll scams. More transportation authorities warn of fake texts in multiple states. And we're going to go over this scam a little later in the live stream. So many examples of these text messages. That's a pretty good article about it, though. The scam tries to trick its victims by appearing as an attempt to collect a toll from a toll road agency such as EasyPass. The scam is an attempt to steal victims' money and personal information. While this scam continues to be reported by various outlets and agencies, new forms continue to surface. And that's very true. There's many different forms of these unpaid toll text message scams. It seems like every week there's a new version where just the text has been kind of changed around. The FTC warned of the scam rearing its head back in January after the FBI reported receiving more than 2,000 complaints. We did a video about this months ago. We did a video about this scam. It's evolved since, but the idea is still the same. So we have a video about these unpaid toll messages. Definitely share it with your loved ones. Everybody's getting these text messages. It's a little ridiculous. Yeah, and basically they're just fake text messages that impersonate SunPass, EasyPass, all these different toll departments, and it has a link to pay a toll that's due. But there is no toll. If you click the link and you provide any of your financial details, a scammer will steal it. So that's what's going on with these unpaid toll scams. And they've been going on a lot since about mid last year. And they've only been getting more and more common, picking up even more. So I think there's lots of different groups behind this scam. And it's one reason why it's probably extremely common right now. But we'll be going into that specific scam more later. But let's see what else this article says about it. USA Today staff in California, Washington, D.C., Miami, New York City, Cincinnati, Indianapolis, and New Jersey confirmed receiving at least one version of the same text messages or variations of them since the beginning of February. Right? So in the past month, all those different staff members received a text message about this. I got to tell you, I have a lot of friends and family telling me, too, that they're getting this text message. They send me over a few examples that I use in these presentations. Whether you've driven through a toll recently or not, you might have gotten a text saying you owe money for unpaid tolls. It's probably a scam, the FTC advisory said. Oh, good. Here's some examples that they're showing us, too, in the article. The language in the scam text may vary by location. One scam message from Florida read, "Please pay your toll in Florida by January 21st. In order to avoid excessive late fees and potential legal action, please pay your tolls on time." There's a screenshot of one of the text messages. The article says it varies by location, but I've had a lot of people report to me from New Jersey saying they got hit with a Massachusetts one, and they weren't in Massachusetts, and there's no reason. A lot of these are just kind of, the scammers are spraying these text messages, and just, they know the numbers are in their favor. Some people will be in Florida, some people will be in New Jersey, some people will be in PA, or some people would have traveled there, all right? There's another example, impersonating Fast Track. But we'll dive into this scam more later. In the meantime, do not click the link in the text message. And be aware that there's a lot of, that scam is circulating like crazy right now. If somebody tells you they got a text message that they owe a toll, be like, hold on one second, are you sure it's not that scam? You know? Let's take a look at the next headline here. Housing Agency issues warning about email scams. The Minnesota Housing Agency has issued an alert about a phishing scam, urging recipients of emails to look at the sender's address. The warning issued last Friday says some recipients are being urged to click on a link to confirm or update their information with the agency or risk a license revocation. Minnesota Housing warns clicking a link could lead to a fake website designed to steal user credentials. The alert tells recipients of Minnesota Housing emails to look at the email address sending the notice, because it may look like an official address but have a mismatching sender. They don't give any more details about that, but it is important to be aware that even local housing agencies are being impersonated by scammers. And they're sending out emails. And it sounds like in this case, the email address looks similar to the real one, but it's not. It'll have a letter off or words reversed or something like that. That's, at first glimpse, it looks like it's a legit email, but it isn't. And that tactic could be used in any area. Just because this article is in reference to Minnesota Housing Agency, scammers probably have a list of housing agencies throughout the country that they're just doing the same scam to. And if not, they probably will. So watch out for emails from your housing agency, your HOAs. Make sure they're from, the actual person that they're claiming to be from. And that's going to be a common theme throughout this live stream is, verifying who you're actually talking to. Because you can't rely on caller ID to do that. You actually have to hang up with the person, look at a bill, confirm the real phone number, real contact information, real website, and verify through those legitimate sources what's going on. Because you can't trust email links. You can't trust phone numbers that's on caller ID. But anyway, let's continue with these headlines. Lots of good stuff so far. I just got scammed. USAA member sends a scam warning to all bank customers. Uh-oh. So it sounds like a USAA bank member got scammed. I think, isn't USAA military for military families too? All right, let's see what she's saying. San Antonio. A woman thought she was being warned about unusual activity on her account, but the call she got was not from her bank. Instead, it was from the scammers who eventually tricked her into giving them access to thousands of her hard-earned cash, and she's not alone. I was uncontrollably crying, like, oh my God, this guy just stole my money. What I've seen happen on TV just happened to me. The woman fell for a scam, and now joins the growing list of bank customers bilked out of their hard-earned cash. It still makes me mad because that's my money, she said. I work hard for our money. Like a growing number of bank customers, it all started with a phone call and a familiar name on the caller ID, right? So that's what we just said. And this is so common. The victims, they see the name on caller ID, they see the phone number on caller ID, and they think that, okay, it's safe. I'm dealing with a real person from the bank. But it's not. So it's super important to let your loved ones know they can't trust the caller ID. It's not a trustworthy way to verify who you're talking to. It said USAA, she said. The USAA ID is the only reason she says she answered the phone. She was on the road with her kids and figured it was USAA calling. It had to be important. Here's another key point. They had all my information, she said. They had my address. They had my phone number. They had my login information. And so I really thought I was talking to USAA. And that goes back to what these scammers know about us. And they'll use that information to appear more legit. You know, they'll call up and they'll have your address. They'll have your phone number. They'll have your username. And the victims trust them. They end up trusting that they have all this information. Yeah, they think that they're legit. She says the person on the other line claimed to be from the fraud department, calling to warn about unusual charges on her debit card. He told me there's a charge going to Target, charge going to Best Buy, and a charge at a gas station. All of it, she says, was made up to apparently get her worked up enough to follow the caller's request to take swift action to protect her account from further fraud. Let's go back to her. Bank fraud is a serious problem nationwide and is not limited to any one financial institution. That's a good point, because even those articles about USAA, we've seen the same exact scam being done impersonating Fidelity, TD Bank, Fidelity. I mean, the same scam is getting used to impersonate all different banks. Recent stats show 3 out of 10 bank customers experienced some type of fraud within the past year. Wow. That's like 30%. 30% of banking customers, 30% pretty much everybody, right? Imposter scams remain the top fraud category, resulting in $2.7 billion in losses. It's when bad guys pretend to be from your bank's fraud department, the government, a tech support expert, or a relative in distress, which we're actually going to talk about all of those scams tonight, which is how she was targeted. Before she knew she was tricked, she was grateful for the fraud alert. Right, so she got the fraud alert. She thinks it's the bank calling her. She doesn't realize she's being scammed. She's all thankful, glad the bank called her, but she doesn't realize she's getting her money stolen. She said, I'm thanking this guy, and he's like, I'm here for you, anything you need, she said, in order to protect her account. And this is very common in a narrative. If you're having a conversation with somebody who you think's your bank or an investigator, this is a very common narrative that they use that we're going to mention right now. The scammer said, in order to protect her account, she says the man on the line talked her into removing the compromised card from her wallet and Apple Watch. Next, to see if the removal was successful, he had her try to transfer $2,000 to her Apple Cash balance. So what they do is they convince you that your account is not safe and you need to transfer the money out. And in this case, they had her transfer the money to, was it an Apple Cash, Apple Pay service? It's kind of new. A compromised card from her wallet. An Apple Watch. Next, to see if the removal was successful. It went through. She counted. All right, so she sends them the first $2,000, and the scammers, they act surprised. Oh, it wasn't supposed to go through. Send another $1,400. It should get declined. So she sent another $1,400, and it went through. Scammer says, it shouldn't be coming through. Here, send another 100 or another 900. So she sent another 900, and it got declined finally. But the scammers, they take everything though. See, that's a good example of how they get greedy and they want it all. The first 2,000 payment wasn't enough. They're like, okay, now let's try to get another 14. Let's try to get another 900. Next, the man had her transfer the combined 3,400. After convincing her the routing numbers and account numbers were compromised, she conveniently provided her new numbers to make the transfer, but the money didn't go into her account. I asked him, why does my savings account say only $200? And then he hung up on me, she said. In that moment when he hung up, I was like, oh my God, I just got scammed. So there were a lot of red flags there that it's not her fault. She wasn't aware of the red flags. But it's an example about why awareness is important. Because there's so many little red flags that if she was just aware of, it could have prevented this whole thing. So lots to take from her experience. And the article continues. There's actually a lot more in this article too. So besides her initial experience getting scammed, getting the money taken, the methods that the scammers used, there's a whole other piece to this. Now she's got to deal with the bank because her money's gone. And this is another misconception that people have. They think that their money's safe and insured in the bank, but not in cases like this. When you're tricked into when you're tricked by scammers into transferring your money out of the bank, or if you withdraw it and send them Bitcoin, the bank's not responsible for that. They don't have to refund that money to you. That's not considered fraud. You actually pulled the money out yourself. So that's not covered by their fraud and insurance. So it's very hard to get your money back in these situations. And that's exactly what this poor woman ran into with her experience with USAA Bank. So she says USAA gave her a temporary credit for $3,400 while they investigated her fraud claim. But the next month they said it wasn't fraudulent. That I allowed this to happen because I transferred it to Apple Cash, used my biometric to allow this all to happen, she explained. She says she tried for months to get USAA to see things her way, that she was a victim of fraud and needed USAA to refund her, but nothing she said would work, right? Because again, the banks aren't responsible for this. And this is what all the banks are doing, not just USAA. They won't help you much in situations like this. I can't believe it happened, she said. I hear stories all the time, and it's crazy that it happened to me, and USA did nothing about it. After a series of reports over the past year, USAA made internal changes to the way they addressed bank fraud and members who've become victims. They include a public apology and a recommitment from the company to give members the support they deserve. You know, that's what they always say, but the stories are just getting worse and worse as far as victims losing their money. Since then, USAA has agreed to work with us and review cases we submit to them. So I don't know, it was MSNBC or this media organization is working with USAA. Many of those cases have been overturned and customers refunded, including her. So yeah, if you work with the media, in fact, it's actually kind of funny. When we read these articles and the headlines, there are cases where it actually takes the media to get involved. And the media gets involved, and then the bank will usually cave and give some money back to the victim. But it's only when the media gets involved. A lot of these victims try for months and months to get their money back. Until it gets some media coverage, that's it. So your best bet really is to get media coverage on your case if you get scammed. Here are ways you can avoid imposter scams. Minimize the impact of fraud and protect yourself from imposter scams by not opening suspicious emails, messages, or clicking on any links from unverified sources. It's very true. Never open attachments, never read emails, never click links from sources that you're not familiar with and aren't trusted. Confirming identities by checking official phone numbers, email addresses, previous invoices, and legitimate websites. Now, when that says confirming identities by checking official phone numbers, that doesn't mean the caller ID because you can't trust the caller ID, right? The caller ID will show the official phone number, but it'll be a scammer still. So what they mean by confirm identities by checking official phone numbers, they mean by calling the official phone numbers. Right? Hang up with the person you're talking to, verify the official phone number, by looking at a bill or going to their official website, and then call up the number directly to confirm what's going on. If you're suspicious at all. But in most cases, rest assured, these are going to be scams when the bank's calling. Not sending any money or gift cards. Huge red flag. They're asking for gift cards. It's a scammer. We'll talk about that when we're discussing red flags. Not relying solely on caller ID, any email signatures, right? So we just talked about that. We're going to keep on mentioning that. Can't trust the caller ID. Slowing down, resisting the pressure to act, telling someone you trust about the situation. All good tips. You want to slow down, resist the pressure to act, because that's what scammers do. They try to pressure you into acting immediately. All right, so watch out for these bank impersonation scams. And again, be aware that they could manipulate the caller ID because they're making it look like the bank and it's not. We're about halfway through the headlines of our weekly Thursday live stream. Scam awareness live stream. Click that thumbs up, click the like, click the heart, say hello in the chat. I see Art out there, I see John out there, I see a bunch of other people watching but not chatting. It's all cool. It's all good. I tend to talk to myself if nobody talks in the chat anyway. Let's take a look at our next headline here. Fraud warning after 9 lose £1 million in crypto scam. All right, so this is a crypto scam. This is international, BBC. So there's another warning from out of the country. Let's see how similar it is to what we experience here in the U.S. A warning has been issued by police after 9 people in Kent lost a combined £1 million in a cryptocurrency scam. The victims' personal details were shared online after a data leak, and their information was used to generate fake action fraud reports, police said. Someone claimed to be a police officer, contacted individuals, and reassured them an investigation had been launched. The fake officer told victims to expect a call from our crypto wallet host. This then received a second call from a person who said they were a security officer and asked for a seed phrase. A seed phrase is for their crypto wallet. That's how you could access a crypto wallet is using a seed phrase. It's kind of like a password, but it's multiple words that allows users to manage their cryptocurrency wallet. The fraudsters then used the information to steal funds and transfer money, police said. So basically what's happening is these scammers are calling up people. They're impersonating a police department or investigative agency. They're saying someone has access to your crypto wallet and that you're going to get a call back from the crypto wallet host. Another scammer calls back, impersonates the host, says they need your seed phrase, and then they steal your crypto. Interesting. Watch out for unsolicited phone calls from people claiming that they're with a crypto company or investing your crypto accounts. It could be a scammer. And there's a lot of these crypto scams going around. So I actually get emails all the time from that impersonate like Coinbase and other crypto exchanges. But one of the key points to take from this headline here, though, is the victim's personal details were shared online after a data leak. Right? So that's how the scammer got their information in the first place, to contact them and to gain their trust. In fact, that data leak could be referring to Coinbase. Coinbase did have a data leak a couple years ago. That's why to this day I even get the fake emails. Because the scammers have a list of users that are using Coinbase. They have their email addresses, other data about them, and they'll convince you that you're actually talking to Coinbase or your crypto host, crypto exchange. But it's all part of the scam, and it's convincing because they know a lot about you. So anyway, BBC article from overseas in the UK dealing with the same type of scams we are over here as far as cryptocurrency goes, and scammers tricking you into giving away your crypto wallet seed phrases. Always keep that seed phrase secure. Should never be giving that to anybody, ever. There's a scammer actually who always leaves comments on my videos trying to get people to reach out to him about their crypto wallets. But anyway, we're about halfway through the headlines here. Welcome to the live stream. For those just joining us, hit that heart, click the thumbs up, click the like, say hello in the chat. Going over some scam awareness topics, some scam awareness headlines, letting you know what to be aware of so you can protect yourself, protect your loved ones from scammers. All important stuff. Well, please like, subscribe to our YouTube channel, help us spread awareness. That's our goal, spreading awareness. So that's what we do. This every week, every Thursday. to our Scam Awareness live stream. You can also join our email list by visiting scamaware101.com. Lots of good resources and tools on that website too. But join our mailing list and we'll send you out reminders about our live stream and some other good scam awareness stuff. Yeah, we're halfway through here. Let's take a look at our next headline. And then we got the good stuff coming up after the headlines. We got lots of scam examples of text messages, phone call recordings to play for you, emails to show you. We even have some snail mail versions to show you of scams. That's right, they're still using the postal service. So lots of good stuff coming up. But for now, let's take a look at this headline. Local law enforcement agency issues scam warnings. Scammers will use real deputies' names. Scammers will usually spoof their phone number on the caller ID. And deputies will never call and demand money. So this is going to be a fake warrant scam. Let's see. According to Alexander County Sheriff's Office, in recent weeks, authorities have seen an increase in fraudulent calls where scammers are impersonating law enforcement officers. Some of the tactics they're using include claiming you need to pay a bond for a family member, requesting payments for ankle monitor deposits, demanding money for warrants or arrests, telling you there's no room in jail so you must pay to have your family member released. The scammers are asking for payment through Green Dot cards, Apple Pay, and PayPal. At no time will Alexander County Sheriff's Office ever call to request money for any of these situations. And that's the same for other sheriff's offices too. But this is interesting because they're actually warning us about a lot of impersonation scams. And it's good that they warned us. You know, they can make the phone number appear like it's these, whoever they're impersonating, sheriff's office, county sheriff. But what's interesting about this is the scammers are targeting family members of those who are incarcerated, which we're starting to see just happen now. The past couple of weeks, we're seeing a lot of warnings about this because all that information is public about who's incarcerated where, right? So the scammers get that information and they reach out to the family members and they tell them these things like, we just need a payment and we can release your loved one with an ankle monitor. Or they'll tell them that there's a warrant that needs to be paid for your loved one. Or there's no room left in jail, so make a payment and your family member will be released. Right? So they're preying on emotions of these family members of inmates. So something to be aware of. Take a look at our next headline here. Netflix email scam warning. Netflix subscribers do not open emails with this subject line. There's lots of Netflix email scams to watch out for. I even have a couple examples too. In fact, I'll just bring it up to show you along with this article. But yeah, I get these all the time. Oh, just bear with me. I was getting the example to show you. Yeah, so there's an example that I received of this fake Netflix phishing email that's going around. Update the required payment details. Now, one of the giveaways it says "Dear User" instead of your name. And if you hover the mouse over the update information, you could see it points to a website that is not Netflix. And also where it came from. It came from promote.weebly.com. So scammers using a third-party mailing service to send out these fake Netflix phishing emails. But if you click that link, it's going to ask you for your billing information, which will get stolen. And I think that's what this article is probably warning us about here. So let's see. Here's an urgent warning to Netflix subscribers over email scam that could steal your login credentials and credit card details. Netflix users have been warned to look out for an insidious AI-powered email scam that looks nearly indistinguishable from the real deal. This warning comes from ESET, a cybersecurity company. The fraudulent email appears strikingly legitimate, asserting that your account has been suspended. It further claims that the information asked for is needed to get your Netflix account working again. According to the message, the only way to restore your access is by updating your payment information. Although phishing emails have been around since the birth of the email address, AI technology has now enabled criminal gangs to generate phishing campaigns at speed and to more email addresses than ever. Said Jake Moore, Global Cybersecurity Advisor at ESET. Subject line of a Netflix email scam. So supposedly this email scam's going around with the subject line that says your account is on hold. Please update your payment details. And the example I have here, it says your account is still pending. So watch out for all different variations of this Netflix emails going around here. Yeah, Netflix has been impersonated a lot for these email scams, whether it's saying billing information or the email reportedly includes a red link reading update account now. The email further says, we're having some trouble with your current billing information. The email signs off as your friends at Netflix. So my email said we were having problems with your current payment information. Yeah, it's not signed off your friends, though. All right, the scammer they're warning us about is a little friend there. He signs it off your friends, where my version doesn't have that sign off. But anyway, I think you guys get the point. Watch out for these Netflix emails. A lot of scammers are impersonating Netflix and claiming everything from billing information needs to be updated to your account. Netflix account is being disabled to updating your subscription details, etc., etc. Watch out for Netflix emails. What Netflix said. Let's see what they said about this. If you get an email or text message asking for your Netflix account email, phone, password, or payment, it probably didn't come from Netflix. There you go. That's what Netflix has to say about it. So watch out for emails and text messages, apparently. All right, if you're just joining us, say hi in the chat. Let us know how you found us. We do this weekly live stream every week, spread awareness about scams so you can protect yourself, your loved ones. Just bear with me one sec. I'll continue in a minute here. All right, cool. Everybody just join us. Click that heart. Tell us why you're here. Tell us how you found us. Let us know your experience with scams. Have you been scammed? Has a loved one been scammed? Which scams are you being targeted with? What text messages are you receiving? What emails are you receiving? What's going on out there? Share your experience with us. Let us know what to watch out for. Together, we can make a difference of spreading awareness and helping each other protect ourselves and our loved ones. And let's check out the next headline. Hey, Sam, welcome to the live stream. Yeah, so many scams to go over, man. That's why we're doing this live stream every week. We do it. I always have new examples every week. Even the well-established scams, different versions of them come out. So they're always evolving. Let's take a look at this headline here. Polson PD issues scam warning. Callers impersonating chief of police. The scam calls say people have missed jury duty and now have a warrant out for their arrest. Yes, this is a similar version to the arrest warrant, the fake arrest warrant scam. And a lot of times when they're calling you up and claiming you have a warrant out for your arrest, a lot of times they'll say that it's because you missed jury duty. And they'll demand payment over the phone. And they'll even threaten. They'll say that a deputy is going to come out and arrest you if you don't make payment immediately. We did a video on fake arrest warrant scams, actually. It's on our YouTube channel. So definitely check that out later. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. But yeah, these fake arrest warrant scams, lots of warnings about them. They impersonate local police offices, local sheriff's offices. And these are one of those scams where on the caller ID, it will show the phone number of the police department too. So you can't trust that caller ID. Be aware of it. It's critical to be aware of that. Let's see what else this article says here. The caller demands payment to avoid being taken into custody for missing jury duty. Yep. The Postal Police Department reports that no member of the department, including the chief of police, will ever call citizens demanding payment. People should avoid engaging with the caller, hang up, never send any money. Yeah. So these fake arrest warrant scams, lots of warnings still coming out about those. They tell you missed jury duty. That's why there's an arrest warrant. But it's all part of a scam to get money out of you. Hey Sam, if you're still in here, how'd you find us? Was on the recommended videos, you subscriber. Anybody else, say hi in the chat. Let's take a look at our next headline here. Police warn of scam call from fake lieutenant demanding. See, there's another one. It's probably the same deal here. Troy Police Department issued a warning of a scam involving calls from a 248 number where the caller claims to be a lieutenant. The warning issued March 4th, so that's why I say we always go over to recent headlines on this live stream. This one just came in 2 days ago. Most of these warnings, nothing should really be older than a week. When I check out the latest headlines, I'm only looking at the ones from the past week. Officials said the individual falsely stated that money was owed to the department. Police are urging residents not to fall for the scam and to hang up if they receive such calls. It's important to remember that legitimate agencies will not demand payment over the phone. Okay, so unfortunately, they didn't give too many details about this one, but it's another police department warning about scammers calling, impersonating police departments. It's safe to say these are another fake arrest warrant scam. Gotta watch out for those. It's crazy how many warnings are coming out about those. All right, about 2/3 of the way through headlines here. Check out our next one. Rexburg Police issue warning after elderly couple loses $34,000 to scammers. Okay, so $35K. Let's see what's going on here. Rexburg, Idaho. The Rexburg Police Department is alerting the area to a potential financial scam targeting the senior community in southeast Idaho. Sunday night, police responded to a call from the concerned daughter of an elderly couple who believed their parents had fallen victim to a financial scam. According to a post on the department's Facebook page, officers visited the couple and determined they had fallen victim to a fraud scheme. The victims told police they had received an email from what they thought was PayPal's fraud department, informing the couple of activity involving the purchase of cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. Police say the victim called the number given in the email and was told the fraudulent activity was caused by an employee at his local bank. According to the post, the couple was directed by the scammers to make several large cash withdrawals of $10,000, $10,000, and $15,000 from his bank account at different local branches. Scammers knew that employees at financial institutions are trained to spot and prevent such scams and told the victim to lie to employees about the reason for the withdrawal, since the alleged fraud was being done from within, and telling the truth may alarm the suspect employee, says the Facebook post. Yeah, we're going to dive into that narrative a little bit more too, because that's an extremely common narrative. Employees did in fact try to question the victim about the large withdrawals, and he told a different story as instructed to avoid raising suspicion. After having withdrawn $35,000, the elderly man was directed by scammers to deposit the cash into a local Bitcoin ATM. Red flag. Bitcoin ATMs are always a red flag if somebody's trying to get you to deposit cash into those. According to police, a gas station employee noticed the man's activity and alerted him that it was likely a scam. So the bank tried to warn this guy it was a scam. Well, they asked him why, and he lied to them, so they didn't warn him. The gas station attendant tried to warn him when he saw him trying to use a Bitcoin ATM. And then the elderly victim told law enforcement he was told by the fraud agent, that's a scammer, that somebody from PayPal would visit his home to retrieve the money. So after he hit all these roadblocks of not being able to deposit into the Bitcoin ATM, the scammers actually sent a courier there to pick up the money. On March 1st, two men arrived at the elderly couple's home, received an envelope containing $35,000 in cash and left. Poor guy got $35,000 of cash taken from him. The scammer sent a courier right to his house to pick up the money in cash. If you have an elderly loved one, please check in on them and educate them of the possible financial fraud schemes that specifically target them. Scam artists often keep their victims on the phone for upwards to 8 hours in an attempt to emotionally fatigue them. They take advantage of the heightened emotional state and lack of technical knowledge of our elderly citizens. Yeah. Got to watch out for this narrative. In this case, they received an email from PayPal. It was a fake email that says that there was fraud, and the email contains a phone number to call, but it's actually a phone number that calls a scammer, because these scammers are actually sitting in call centers. You know, this isn't just some guy in the basement, some kid in his mom's basement running these scams. These are career criminals working out of call centers and compounds, just scamming people all day. And plenty of people get these fake emails from PayPal. You know, it says that a purchase was made. You know, it's a fake order notification. And it'll include a number to call saying, just call PayPal. We'll reverse the charge. And the victim doesn't realize it, but it's not a number to PayPal. It calls a scammer. And we see that a lot. We actually did a video on that type of scam as well. It's called a fake order scam. And we'll be talking about that one in more detail shortly too, because those fake order scams, they're targeting victims through email, through text message, through phone call. You're being attacked from all angles. In this case, this poor victim lost $35,000. It's a shame because there's so many red flags too, but these scammers, they trick the guy, right? So they know that the bank is going to tell this victim, you know, when he's trying to make these withdrawals, the bank's going to be like, hey, you know, what's going on here? And what the scammer does is he tells the victim, your bank's being investigated. We're having you move the money because it's not safe there. You can't tell the teller that's why you're moving the money. You got to keep it a secret. You know, she could be in on the fraud that's going on. And this victim, you know, fell for it. When the bank asked him what it was for, he told them the fake story. You know, they tell the victims to tell bank tellers if they're asking why you're withdrawing that money, just say you're doing some large purchases. They'll tell them you're doing some large furniture purchases and something like that. They're going on a vacation. They're buying a car in cash. But they'll give you a fake story to tell the bank teller. That's always a red flag. We'll talk about that too a little later when we go over red flags. But then the other huge red flag was the guy at the gas station. You know, initially this victim was told to go deposit the money into a Bitcoin ATM, which is a red flag in itself. But he even had somebody at the gas station warn him. The employee at the gas station said, hey, you're being scammed. Don't put the money in there. And he didn't. He didn't put the money into the Bitcoin ATM. But he let the scammers know, and the scammers were like, oh, the guy doesn't know what he's talking about. We're going to come pick it up. And they still got their money from him. You know, it wasn't enough to discourage the scammers. They're going to try to do everything they can to get that money. So yeah, poor guy lost $35K. Watch out for these fake PayPal scams, fake order notifications, red flags, depositing into Bitcoin ATM. Yeah, I got lots of fake PayPal emails too. In fact, here's an example. Services at paypal-accounts.com. It asked me to confirm my identity. And see how it says, Dear PayPal customer, but the C in customer is lowercase? Right, so those little grammar issues and spelling issues. In this case, you can see Dear PayPal customer. It doesn't say my name, right? And the C is lowercase. But yes, this was a scam email I received from PayPal. Yeah, and they use domain names that look legit, like paypal-accounts.com. Wonder what happens if I try to go to that, actually. Let me see something here. have some fun. YOLO, right? Yeah, site can't be reached. Yeah, their site's not online anymore, and my antivirus is blocking it. But anyway, yeah. Watch out for these PayPal scams. That victim lost $35K because of it. Let's take a look at our next headline here. Hey, do you guys see the react button on the vertical live stream? It's weird. I don't see it on my phone. See on my computer, not phone. Interesting. Anyway, let me continue with the scam awareness live stream. If you're just joining us, we do this live stream every week where we look at the latest headlines and warnings about scams to help spread awareness. So please like, subscribe, follow our content. Help us spread awareness here. Next headline. Scammers demand money claiming to have found lost pets. Yeah, this is that lost pet scam. So just to give you an idea about how heartless some of these scammers are. People who lose their pets are getting scammed. What they'll do is they'll be hanging up flyers, lost cat, lost dog. And what these scammers are doing is they're calling the person who lost their pet, and the scammer pretends that they found the pet, but it needs medical assistance. It needs surgery, and they ask you to pay right away to take care of your pet. Right? But it's a scammer. They don't have your pet. So it's a terrible scam. And every couple of weeks, this one seems to pop up in the headlines here. And this case is from San Antonio Humane Society. Has issued a warning to pet owners about a scam preying on those searching for their lost pets. Scammers are impersonating the nonprofit, claiming to have found the missing animals and demanding money for alleged medical expenses. So imagine you've lost your pet and you're trying to get reunited. You receive this phone call that says, "Hey, I'm with San Antonio Humane Society. I found your pet, but it's injured and we need money." That is not us, the Humane Society said. Hines noted that the scam is not limited to San Antonio, but it's occurring nationwide. That's true, because we've read about the same scam a couple weeks ago, being warned about from other places. Scammers have been demanding thousands of dollars for immediate surgery or other medical care. We even had some instances where the scammers will use some of our staff members' names, she added. It's really sad because pet owners are in this vulnerable state and they want to find their pet the best they can, but it's just heartbreaking because the scammers take advantage of that. To avoid falling victim to this scam, Hines advised pet owners to verify the caller's information. Ask them about what their contact information is, so you can maybe try to call them back. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a scam. Also ask for distinguishing marks on the pet. Hines, who has been with nonprofit for 5 years, warned that scammers are becoming increasingly sophisticated. They're spoofing our phone numbers to where their numbers on a caller ID. It'll say Humane Society, so you're getting extremely creative. Wow. So throughout this live stream, we've been warning about that caller ID issue, and now we're seeing the scammers impersonate Humane Society's phone number on a caller ID. So if you lost a pet, be aware of that scam. These scammers are ruthless. They don't care. Let's take a look at our next headline. Getting there. We've got 5 more left after this one. We're a little bit behind schedule. That's okay, though. There's no set schedule here. We just go with it. Seattle Public Schools warn of gift card scam emails. Seattle Public Schools warned parents of scam emails posing as SPS staff asking for contact information or gift card purchases. The emails are associated with Gmail accounts, which is not what official school messages are sent from. So there's scam emails going out asking parents to support a coach, asking for donations to support a coach. And emails are posing as principals in school districts. And they're asking them to buy gift cards to thank a coach. So watch out for that if you're in Seattle, and keep an eye out in other districts, because where scams happening in one district, I'm sure it's happening in another district. But yeah, donations to support a coach. Buy gift cards and send them to a scammer. Watch out. Warning issued concerning pig butchering scams. Pig butchering. People like the pig butchering scam. They're always asking me to do a video on the pig butchering scams. I don't know why it's getting so much attention, but I suppose it's a good thing. Oregon residents should avoid responding to an unexpected text or direct message from a stranger, according to the Oregon Division of Financial Regulation. Indeed, they should, because it's actually called a wrong number scam when they reach out to you by text, and then they pretend they had a wrong number. But we're going to go over that a little later. But that type of scam is usually how these pig butchering scams start. The DFR has issued a warning to be wary of such messages because they might be the first step in a relationship or investment scam, also known as romance scam or pig butchering. These scams often involve fraudsters contacting targets, seemingly at random, using social media or common communication apps. The scammer gains the target's trust, often by starting a romantic relationship or a friendship. The scammer then starts to convince the victim to invest in phony investments, including fraudulent cryptocurrency schemes, before falsely claiming the initial investment grew significantly. The scammer then asks for more money and demands payment of fees or taxes to withdraw the funds. But even when the victim pays the withdrawal fees, the fraudster does not refund the victim's money, but rather disappears with the funds and without any further communication. So several warning signs to be aware of. Unexpected contact. Never respond to unsolicited messages from unknown contacts, even about benign topics, especially through text message or an encrypted messaging application like WhatsApp or Telegram. We're going to talk about that specifically when we go to red flags in a little bit. Refusal to participate in video chats. If someone you have been messaging declines to interact face-to-face, they're likely not the person from the profile photo. Request for financial information. Don't share any personal financial information with anyone you have never met in person. If a virtual friend or romantic connection starts making financial inquiries, put the brakes on the relationship. Don't be giving your money out. Work hard for your money. Invitation to invest in specific financial products. Be wary of unsolicited investment advice or tips, particularly from someone you have spoken to only online, even if they suggest you trade through your own account. Always question what source has to gain from sharing the tip with you and whether a transaction fits with your financial goals and investment strategy. Then it continues to give like certain investment tips. So I'm going to kind of skip over the investment tips in general. Exaggerating claims and elevated emotions. Take a closer look at an investment that offers much higher than average returns or is touted as guaranteed. Fraudsters will often use their knowledge about you to appeal to your emotions. For example, don't you want to have money to send to your kids to college? All right. These scammers are masters at emotions, manipulating emotions. A sense of urgency and an upcoming news announcement or share price increase. Remember that insider trading is illegal. You should never trade in shares of a company on the basis of material, non-public information. Romance and crypto scams continue to be the source of significant losses for consumers. Consumers who receive contacts out of blue through messaging apps on their phone and other means should be suspicious. Very true. Several states and federal authorities have issued warnings about this type of fraud. Yeah, watch out for these pig butchering scams. They're usually initiated with wrong number text messages, which we're going to go over in a little bit. I got a bunch of examples of those to show you. 4 more headlines to go. So here's a headline warning veterans. Scammers targeting veteran benefits. Multiple agencies are issuing warnings to veterans as scammers are targeting their benefits. The Federal Trade what just happened? The Federal Trade Commission and the Social Security Administration are echoing the same advice to veterans when it comes to your benefits. Be vigilant. Both agencies issued separate alerts in February, reminding veterans that scammers often target those who've served for their benefits, and the losses are adding up. According to data reported by the FTC earlier this year, military service members, veterans, and their families reported more than $470 million lost to scammers and fraud in 2023 alone. Right? And that's the 2023 report. That's not even 2024. You know it went up in 2024. One of the ways criminals often initiate contact is through a simple offer to help with the benefit process. That's why scammers call, email, or message to help you apply. The agency stated, but what they're really after is your money. These advisors make promises they can't keep and charge filing fees for services that are always free through the Department of Veterans Affairs. So be suspicious of unsolicited offers that are coming your way. Definitely talk to your people at the VA or other veterans that might be dealing with something similar. Social Security Administration notes that the PACT Act, which expanded veterans' access to benefits, has created another opportunity for criminals. All right, because criminals do pay attention to stuff. According to Social Security Administration, scammers can sometimes pose as employees of the VA, offering to access or file your benefits on behalf or a fee. The tactics, the VA reports, could range from spoofing and email phishing to phone calls, where scammers bait those unsuspecting with questions to verify identity. Yeah, so be cautious of companies that advertise VA benefits. Their scam is to charge illegal fees for services that you get for free. Do your due diligence dealing with any type of company that claims that. Be alert to phishing and requests for personal information, like your benefits, your medical records, your finances. Social Security will generally not call you to request information like that. Yeah, a lot of these official correspondence, you can't trust text messages coming in, emails coming in. These official correspondences, especially from government agencies, they're going to reach you through mail. They're going to send you multiple letters until they reach you. So there you go, veterans. Watch out. Don't let scammers get your benefits, Got 3 more headlines to go. Livingston County Veterans Services is warning of a scam postcard targeting veterans. Oh, here's another scam targeting veterans. Oh, there's a picture of it right here, too. Okay. The postcard, which they said recently came into their office, had the heading Veteran Give Back Program 2025. The text says the recipient may be eligible to receive money based on the program that will be added to their Social Security check. It also lists a phone number for people to call. But if you call that number, you'll be connected to a scammer. And this is an actual letter that gets received through the postal service, a postcard delivered to your mailbox. If you call this number, it's going to connect to a scammer. This one's targeting veterans. Let me make it a little bigger so you can see. There's a picture of the postcard that's going out with red, stamped over it. Veteran Give Back Program. So if you get something like this, don't trust it. And warn your veteran friends, right? 2 more headlines to go over. Wisconsin BBB scam alert. Fake going out of business sale. Fake going out of business and liquidation websites are popping up, the BBB warns. So these are fake retail website scams. How the scam works. A news release from the BBB says, if you see an online ad on social media for Joanne going out of business sale, you click the ad, which takes you to a website that looks identical to the real Joanne website with the company's logo and images. You see merchandise discounted 80-90% off. The products being sold are products that you're familiar in purchasing at Joanne, so the sale seems legitimate. As you start to add items to the cart, you may also be offered additional promotional discounts. But if you look more closely, you will notice that the website's URL is not for the real Joanne website. Instead, you're on a fake website created by a scammer who's trying to steal your personal financial information. Yeah, so these are these scammers will get websites, and we mentioned this a little earlier. The website address will look very similar to a legit one, but they'll leave a letter out or reverse letter, so you won't notice. You'll think you're on the real website. So let's see what some tips are. How to avoid fake scams like these. Always confirm the website's URL. Scammers love to build fake websites to look like the real thing. These fake websites can be very convincing. So take extra steps to confirm what website you are on. And we have some examples of these websites too we're going to share a little later when we talk about fake retailer websites. Instead of clicking on ad links, go directly to the official website. Yep. Instead of and when you go to the official website, make sure you don't do a typo too. The whole point is a lot of times these scammers will get names where a simple typo will actually get you to the wrong website. Be wary of deals that sound too good to be true. Very true. We're going to talk about that a little later as well. Use your credit card for online purchases as opposed to debit cards. Your credit card company will give you more options. Like you could call them and they'll cancel the charge and refund you, whereas bank cards aren't easy to do. A lot harder to get that money back. They take it from your bank. Be careful what information is asked about you. If your online shopping website is suddenly asking for your social security number, it's a red flag. There's no reason to provide that information. Yeah, fake retail websites is a big problem, especially during holidays and certain times of year. We'll be sharing some of those too. All right, last headline. And then we're going to go into some scam examples. YouTube scam warning. How hackers using AI video of CEO Neil Mohan is targeting people. Yes, this article is actually telling us how there's fake AI videos, generated by AI that are on YouTube of the CEO of YouTube. And these videos are targeting content creators on YouTube, falsely announcing changes to monetization policies. YouTube has advised users to not believe any such videos and do not click the embedded links because they'll lead you to phishing websites. And these fake videos that feature an AI-generated CEO of YouTube is trying to steal your credentials and cause monetary losses, it says. There's an official announcement here. We're aware that phishers have been sharing private videos to send false videos, including an AI-generated video of YouTube CEO Neil Mohan, announcing changes to monetization. So AI is crazy, right? AI is these fake AI videos. They're literally generating videos that look real, that are CEOs of companies. And there's lots of different cases. This one's just ironic because it's the YouTube CEO on videos being posted on YouTube. But we see lots of cases of these AI videos spreading now, endorsing fake products. There's a lot with like Elon endorsing fake products, bank CEOs endorsing fake products. And they're not real. They're not really being endorsed. They're just videos that were generated with AI. It's kind of wild where we're at now with that. AI it's going to be impacting scammers a lot. It's going to be interesting next couple of years. And that's it for headlines. I'm running a little bit behind schedule here, but that's okay. If you're just joining us, say hi in the chat. Click the thumbs up. Give us a like. Click the heart. Our goal is to spread awareness about scams so you can learn how to protect yourself, your loved ones. If you don't subscribe to our YouTube channel yet, please subscribe. Help us spread our content. The more subscribers we get, the more our content will be spread thanks to YouTube algorithm. So click that heart, click that like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel. See, I'm looking on coffee here. I might have to take a 5-minute break to go refill the coffee, and then maybe we'll get into some of these scam examples. Not maybe. I mean, we definitely will. How we doing out there? You live out there, everybody? If you haven't joined our email list, please visit scamware101.com and join our mailing list. We'll send out reminders of live streams. We'll send out some scam awareness tips, all good stuff. We won't sell or share your information. We'll keep it private. So visit scamware101.com. Click join mailing list. All right. It's time to take a 5-minute coffee break, refill here. Then we're going to get into it. Lots of good scam examples coming up. We're going to start off with some IRS and tax scams because it is tax season, and it's important to be aware of these tax and IRS scams that are circulating right now. So we're going to get into that in about 5 minutes at 7:20. In the meantime, we're just going to take a quick 5-minute break, refill this coffee cup here. Just join us, say hi in the chat, click the heart, tell us how you found us. All right, everybody, back momentarily. Need to refill my Scamaware 101 coffee mugs and traveler mugs. On sale in our YouTube store. So check it out. Got a couple items in there. But anyway, let me go refill my cup. Back shortly. All right, what's up, people? We are refilled with the Scamware 101 travel mug for sale on our YouTube channel. 7:20 p.m. here. We just got done going through all the headlines. Took a quick 5-minute break. Lots of good stuff discussed, and lots more good stuff to continue discussing coming up now. In the meantime, before we get started, say hello in the chat. Tell us you're joining for the second part of our live stream here. Click that heart, click that thumbs up, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We also have our mailing list, a free mailing list you could join on our website, scamware101.com. So join our mailing list. You'll get announcements and reminders when we're going live and other very useful scam awareness tips and information. We do this live stream every week, every Thursday, and the goal is to just spread awareness of scams so you can protect yourself and your loved ones. So with that said, let's get into some actual scam examples here. And we're going to start with some IRS and tax scams because it is tax season and the scammers are aware of that. You know, certain types of scams pick up throughout the year during the time of year. During the holidays, certain package scams start circulating. And during tax season, certain tax and IRS scams start circulating. So there's quite a few things you need to watch out for and be aware of, to protect yourself from those IRS and tax scams. So the first scam we're going to start off with is one that's circulating right now. It impersonates the IRS, and it's actually a fake text message that claims there's an economic impact payment coming your way. But let me open up that text message and we'll show you the example here. We've got a couple IRS ones to share with you. So here's a text message that's currently circulating. The IRS actually released a warning about this text message. And it's circulating and it says, you're eligible to receive a $1,400 economic impact payment. Please provide your accurate personal information. We will deposit the amount into your bank account or mail a paper check within 1 to 2 business days. And then it has a link to a fake website that's designed to look like the IRS. And it's going to steal your personal information. It's going to steal your bank account information and your identity. So if you click that link. And something tricky about this text message too is you'll notice the link actually has irs.gov inside of it. But the website itself, it's actually a .subsidy.ion.com. It's only a subdomain. So they stuffed irs.gov into the name to make it seem a little bit more legit. But it's still a fake website. So little trick that these scammers are trying to use to make you think it's a legit message. The other thing you need to watch out for, and you're going to see it across multiple examples that we're going to share tonight, this instruction at the bottom of this scammer text message impersonating the IRS, the instruction at the bottom says, please reply with yes, then exit the text message. Open it again, click the link, or copy it into your Safari browser. That instruction is included on a lot of scammer text messages. Because what they're trying to do is if you reply yes, it'll activate the link on the iPhone. So it'll activate it, you can actually click on it. Also, it notifies the scammer that you read the message. You're there. There's somebody at the other end following instructions, reading the message, and it'll target you with more scams. So many scam examples that we're going to show, text message wise, have the same instruction at the bottom. Completely different scams, but the same instruction. So that's a red flag to watch out for when it comes to text messages. When it says at the bottom, reply with yes, then red flags. So anyway, this text message right now is circulating currently. This IRS Revenue Service, Internal Revenue Service, sorry, $1,400 economic impact payment. So if you get a text message about this, it's a scam. The IRS already addressed it. They're not sending out text messages like this. That's not how they would notify you. Any type of economic impact payment would have been automatic, and there's certainly not a $1,400 one going around right now. So it's a scam. If you get this, rest assured it's a scam. And what's interesting about this and something to take note of is even though this is happening through text message, a couple of years ago, in 2023, the IRS warned us about the same exact scam, except it was by email. So people were receiving emails making the same claim. There's an economic impact payment. Click this link to confirm your information. But that was a scam. So that same scam from a couple of years ago that targeted email, it's evolved and now it targets text messaging. So always be aware of that. Any scams that you get through email, it could usually be adapted to target you with a text message too. Vice versa. Neither form are immune to scammers. So that's the first scam example that we're sharing with you today, is that text message that's currently circulating, impersonating the IRS. So watch out for these IRS impersonation scams. The next text-related scam example we're going to share here is actually a phone recording. And this is of a service. So in the first example, we had to watch out for IRS impersonation, right? Well, in this next example, these are companies that are offering tax-related services, but it's scammers. It's not really a company offering a service. And in this case, it's a tax forgiveness scam. They know it's tax season. They have a robocall set up. It's calling up people. And it's offering tax forgiveness, but it's actually a scam. So let's listen to that recording first, and then we'll talk about it in a little bit more detail.
Hi, this is Lindsay Carter from the Activation Department. Give me a call back at 833-850-2527. Our records indicate you have some back taxes owed. You're now eligible to apply for them to be forgiven with the Zero Tax Balance Program. Any back owed taxes can be enrolled to be forgiven through this program. But we do need to sign up this week. Just give me a call so we can start the process. It's really quick, and I'll keep your file open here. So my number is 833-850-2527. If you've already resolved this, call back and press 2 to be removed. Can't wait to speak with you. 2.
So that was a recording of a robocall that's currently circulating right now. That was one that I received, but I also had multiple people report that same phone call to me. And it's an example of what you have to watch out for during tax season. It's not just scammers impersonating the IRS, but it's robocalls and fake services like that that are trying to get you to call back. If you had called back, they'd try to steal your personal information. Personal information, finance information, things like that. In this case, I actually did try calling back that number, but it's not in use anymore, and I couldn't reach anybody. So that's typically what happens. Usually the numbers, if they leave a number to call back, it's usually dead within a few days, and then they switch on to another number. So anyway, that's 2 examples of IRS and tax-related scams that you need to watch out for this time of year. Both of them are currently circulating, so keep that in mind. That text message is currently circulating, that phone call is currently circulating. I'm sure there's all different variations of those types of scams circulating as well right now. So, and also one final note about that too, about the phone call that called up. It tries to scare the victim. It tries to scare people because it says you owe back taxes. It's just saying that no matter whether you owe them or not. That's part of the robocall. So the person hears this, and someone actually shared with me, they got this call. They had already filed their taxes, but they got this call. And the first thing that popped into their mind was, wait, did I do something wrong? Right? Did I file my paperwork wrong or something? But that's the whole point of these types of scams. They want to cause confusion. They want to cause fear. Like, oh, shoot, I got to get that fixed. But you don't realize that you're talking to a scammer. So watch out for those 2 types of IRS and tax-related scams currently circulating. They're out there. We've been warned about them by the IRS, and keep an eye out. The next scam that's currently circulating, and these types of scams usually pick up this time of year too, are Social Security scams. I think there's a lot of changes that go through in effect or whatever at the beginning of the year. I don't know too much about Social Security in general, but there's always a lot of changes and things happening at the beginning of the year. I think gets more media attention and stuff like that. So it makes sense for Social Security scams to increase this time of year, or at least when there's getting media attention related to Social Security. And one example of that was an email that was received by a friend. I'm going to share that email right now so you can see. So first it's received in on the phone. And that's what this screenshot right here is of the email that came in on the phone. And it's a little tricky to tell that it's fake on the phone, right? The link has ssa.gov, in the text. You can't just hover the mouse over it to see what it is. And then the from it doesn't actually show you the email address. You got to click on the name to see the email address. So it's a little harder to identify that this is a scam email. But it's an email that's currently circulating. It's only a few weeks old, and it's impersonating the Social Security Administration. It's claiming that there's a report available for your... I'll read you exactly what it says. Get your new information now. To see your statement, please download the file from this link. Then it's got a link that looks like it points to ssa.gov. We hope you find your new statement useful and informative. Thank you for using the Social Security Administration services. Please do not reply to this email as we are unable to respond to messages sent to this address. And then at the very end, though, the last line says, this file works on computers only. So that's kind of a red flag too. It's like, And all throughout this too, there's little capitalization and punctuation issues, like run this line. We hope you find your new statement useful. Like statement is capitalized for no reason. There's no period at the end of the sentence. So those are little indicators that this is a scam email as well. But anyway, this is the example of the email on the phone. But if you look at it on an actual PC or in a different email client, you can see on my screen here, now with the email address revealed, it came from a different country. This isn't the email address of Social Security Administration. Right, safaricom.co.ke. I think we looked it up. I think it was like Kenya or something like that when we looked it up. And then if you move the mouse over to link, it looked like it was pointing to ssa.gov. But you move the mouse over it, it shows you where it really points to, and it's this random website. That's definitely not Social Security Administration. So this email is currently circulating now. It's February 6th. So 1 month ago, this email was circulating. So it's still circulating, and there's other ones, I'm sure. But what would happen if you click that link? I think it's safe to assume that you get a virus on your PC, because at the end, they put that little note. This file works only on computers. So they want you to click that link and run it on a computer. So watch out for that email impersonating Social Security Administration. It's currently circulating now. So, and even though that's we showed you the email version of that scam, you also have to beware of phone calls. I actually think the phone calls are a little bit more common than the emails, or at least they have been. There's lots of scammers calling people over the phone and impersonating Social Security. And again, they'll show the Social Security agencies, they'll show the phone number on caller ID too, because scammers could do that. They can manipulate the caller ID. So don't trust the caller ID. But definitely watch out for phone calls. You need to watch out for emails, like the one we just showed. And really, if suddenly you start getting messages and text messages too, you got to watch out for that. All these forms of communication, there's no reason a Social Security impersonation scam can't, target you through all three of those methods. So watch out for Social Security scams. They're popular, just like the IRS and tax scams are now too. Keep your guard up. And then the other type of scam that we'll talk about before we dive into red flags is an arrest warrant or jury duty scam. We talked about this one a little bit on the headlines. We actually did a video about this too on our YouTube channel. But these fake arrest warrant scams are getting a lot of attention. From all over the country. And what it is, in fact, here, let me bring up a slide for you. 1 sec. A victim is contacted by a scammer impersonating law enforcement. The scammer claims an arrest warrant was issued and fines must be paid to resolve it. The scammer then threatens the victim with arrest if fines aren't paid immediately. That's an arrest warrant scam, a fake arrest warrant scam. A lot of times it'll be a jury duty scam too. They'll claim they missed jury duty, and that's the reason an arrest warrant's going to get issued. And this type of scam is spreading a lot, and the caller ID will show the phone number of the sheriff's office they're impersonating. The caller ID will show the number of the law, police station that they're impersonating. So be aware of these that come in if they say you have a arrest warrant. And some key takeaways about that too. Check out the video on our YouTube channel. But some key takeaways. Always remember the scammers can manipulate the phone number shown on caller ID. They're going to show sheriff's office, police department. Also, in these arrest warrant scams, we've been warned by Sheriff's Office and other reports about the scam that the scammers provide fake paperwork now. So they will have fake paperwork that looks like it's for you, that it's a legit warrant for your arrest. They just took actual paperwork and made it look like it was for you. So be suspicious of any random paperwork that these unsolicited phone calls try to provide you, especially if they're claiming they're with Sheriff's Office. If someone urges you to make an immediate payment over the phone, it's a red flag. They're not going to do that. If you get a call claiming a warrant was issued for your arrest, what you should do, ask for the name of the organization that issued the warrant. Right? Hang up the phone, then call the organization directly. Look up the number, confirm the actual number for the organization, call directly if you're concerned about it. And do not engage with the scammer who contacted you. Because most of these times, it's going to be a scammer reached out to you. So, and be aware of the scam. Know that it's happening right now. And know that you can't trust a caller ID. And if the narrative says, you missed jury duty, and that's why there's an arrest warrant too, that's extremely common. That's what they say, you missed jury duty. So there you go. There's some common scams that are circulating right now. There's a lot more to discuss and go over. But at this point, I usually like to jump into the red flags portion of this live stream. And that's where we go over some 5 common red flags that indicate you're talking to a scammer. And in a lot of cases, if victims had been aware of these red flags, and a lot of them were like little minor details. If they were aware of these red flags, it would have been enough to prevent the entire scam from happening. So it's important to be aware of these various red flags that we're about to go over. And, while we're going over these red flags, share in the chat. If you ran into these red flags or you've been targeted and you've noticed these red flags, tell us about it in the chat. And let us know about any other red flags in the chat that we don't include here. Right? I'm only going to list 5 red flags. So tell us any other red flags that you think need to be considered. But also, we did a video of these 5 red flags. So as we're going through these red flags, if you know someone that would benefit from knowing these red flags, which is really everybody, especially your older loved ones, right? You could actually go to our YouTube channel and share the video with them of the five red flags to be aware of. Because just being aware of these 5 red flags can make all the difference of whether you fall for a scam. And so without further ado, let's talk about these red flags. And hit that heart, hit that like button. Say hi in the chat if you're just joining us. Now, red flag number 1, that you're talking to a scammer. They direct you to a third-party chat app like Telegram or WhatsApp to continue the conversation. Right? So you remember that being mentioned earlier when we were going over the headlines. That was one of the tips that law enforcement was warning us about. If they try to direct you to a third-party chat app like Telegram or WhatsApp, it could be a scammer. Why do scammers like these third-party chat apps? Because it's easier to communicate with victims in other countries. It's a lot easier to use these third-party chat apps to communicate with people than it is to send text messages and emails. And it also offers some more anonymity for the scammers to hide behind. So if you're talking to somebody online, randomly, that you don't know, they try to direct you to continue talking in Telegram or WhatsApp, it's a red flag. If it happens, stop, pause, and think about what's going on. And some examples of scams where it's part of the playbook to redirect the victims to Telegram or WhatsApp. Some scams that specifically do this, right, are romance scams. They'll start with fake dating profiles, on like dating websites to lure the victims in, right? And once they start talking with their matches, the scammers will direct them to continue talking on WhatsApp. And that's part of a romance scam. That's a lot of times how a romance scam gets initiated. And the red flag is that they're trying to direct you to talk on WhatsApp. Wrong number scams. And we'll talk about this type of scam in a little bit. But wrong number scams start with a text message probing for new victims, right? And that directs those who reply to continue talking on WhatsApp. So they'll reach out to you. Oh, I'm sorry, I got a wrong number, but you seem nice. Let's keep on talking on WhatsApp. Scam. Red flag. And you have investment scams. We talked about this a little earlier too. But they'll try to direct you to Telegram or WhatsApp group to pump up an investment and appear more legit. They'll have a lot of bots on Telegram, on the Telegram channel. They'll have a lot of bots and scammers in the WhatsApp group, and they'll try to pump up an investment to make it look like it's more legit and has interest. So you don't even realize you'll be talking to a bunch of bots on Telegram. So that's red flag number one, that you could be talking to a scammer. If they try to direct you to a third-party chat app like Telegram or WhatsApp, that's red flag. Let me know if you've run into that red flag in the chat. Click the heart for that red flag if you're still with us. All right, red flag number two. They request payment in gift cards, prepaid cards, cryptocurrency, or depositing cash at a Bitcoin ATM. That's a major red flag, and we heard that in a lot of the examples and victim stories during the headlines, right? How many of them said that they were advised to go buy gift cards or deposit money in a Bitcoin ATM? Those are huge, huge red flags. Currently, government agencies, they don't accept Bitcoin as payment. They don't accept gift cards as payment. So if someone's calling you up impersonating police offices or government agencies and they're trying to get you to withdraw cash and give it to them through a Bitcoin ATM, it's a scam, right? Don't fall for it. It's a red flag. If anybody's trying to get you to withdraw your money and purchase gift cards, prepaid cards, cryptocurrency, scams. So why? Why do scammers use that type of payment methods? Because it's easier for them to move and transfer the funds quickly, right? And it's harder for victims to recover that money once it's set. And again, just so you know, the bank doesn't cover that stuff, right? We talked about that earlier. A lot of these victims, they didn't realize it, but the bank will not cover that. If you withdrew the money and were tricked, sending it to a scammer, buying gift cards, or transferring it to a scammer, that's not covered by the bank's insurance. So you won't get that money back. It's very hard to get that money back. And banks won't help you. There'll be very little help. We hear it all the time from victims. I read about it earlier in the headline earlier for the USA Bank, right? And some scams where this is specifically part of the playbook, right? Red flag number two is specifically part of the playbook of some of these scams include IRS and Social Security scams. The scammers, they impersonate government agencies, and they'll ask for payment in gift cards or cryptocurrency. Again, and we just talked about it, no government agencies accept that as payment right now. So if you're being advised to withdraw and purchase gift cards or use a Bitcoin ATM, that's a scam. Romance scams, right? The scammers, they'll often request gift cards and cryptocurrency from a emotionally attached victim. They take advantage of the victim's heartstrings. The victim thinks they're in a real relationship, and they're just sending gift cards and cryptocurrency into a shared bank account, they'll say, but it's really, the scammer's just milking what they could get, right? So it's very common in romance scams, gift cards, cryptocurrency. And there's the bank impersonation scams, and we heard about this narrative in the headlines, and we're going to continue hearing about this narrative because one of the most common ones. But what happens is the victims are told they're told that their money's not safe in their account. A scammer, a fraudster, a phantom hacker has gotten into your account, and you need to move your money so it's safe. And then what they do is they advise them to withdraw the money first, and then they tell them go purchase gift cards or go deposit into Bitcoin ATM. And that's for the bank impersonation scam. And we'll talk about that a couple more times as we go through these red flags. Because it's a very common narrative. If you get an unsolicited call saying someone's in your bank account, put that red flag up. Sometimes it could be from your bank, but be aware that the scammers use that as a way to trick you and get you to comply. So that's red flag number two. They request payment in gift cards, prepaid cards, cryptocurrency, depositing cash at a Bitcoin ATM. Any requests like that, be suspicious. They ask you to provide a code. Red flag number three. They ask you to provide a code that was sent to your phone via text message. Open an account using the victim's phone number, right? So that's one reason they would do this. Why would they try to get a code that was sent to your phone? And you run into this type of scam on Facebook Marketplace. They'll tell the victim, we're going to send a code to your phone to verify your identity, right? Or verify your phone number. But it's a scam. What they're actually doing is they're trying to open an account attached to the victim's phone number. Or they might be trying to log in to the victim's bank account, for example. And that code is going to give them access. They might be trying to reset a victim's password. And by providing that code, you'll approve that reset. So there's scams. You should never provide a code that's sent to your cell phone to an individual, right? If they tell you they're gonna send a code to your phone, be suspicious. Be very suspicious. And just to expand a little bit more on specific scams that's part of the playbook. They ask you to provide the code, right? Because usually for three different things. They're trying to log into your existing account. So you know how you go to log in account, sends a code to your phone. That's what they're doing. They're trying to log into your account. You give them the code, you approve the login. They're trying to reset your password, right? So it's an account that's linked to your phone. They're trying to reset your password. If you give them the code, they're able to put it on their end to reset your password, giving them access to your account. Or the third thing, and this is one of the most common ones, is they're trying to create a Google Voice account attached to your phone number. So by providing that code, you authorize your phone number to be attached to this new fraudulent Google Voice account. And the scammer could use that Google Voice account to target other victims and call them and appearing like it's from your phone number. And so Google Voice scams, right? That's an example, a very common example of why they would send a code to your phone and then ask you to provide that code. Again, this is commonly seen on marketplace websites, Facebook, Craigslist. Someone impersonates a buyer or a seller and says, I just want to confirm your identity. I just want to confirm your phone number. I'm going to send a code to your phone. But they're triggering one of these requests. If you provide that code to them, you're letting them proceed with their scam. Right? So that's red flag number 5. They send a code to your phone and they want you to provide the code back to them. How we doing in the chat? Looks a little quiet in there. If you're just joining us, say hello. Click the heart, click the like, give us a thumbs up. Right now, we're just going over some common red flags of scams. Our top 5 red flags that you're dealing with a scammer. We're on red flag number 3. Ready to move on to red flag number 4. If you're just joining us, click that heart, say hello in the chat, click the thumbs up, give us a like. Red flag number 4. They ask to connect your PC to assist or investigate an issue. Right, so this is common. This is very common now with scammers. And it's become more and more common over the past few years. Is now they try to just access your PC. They try to actually get onto your computer. Why? Well, if they can get onto your computer, they can extract your logins and your passwords they have saved in your browser. Right? So they get onto your computer. First thing they do is extract those saved logins to whatever accounts, any accounts you have saved. They'll have access to your personal files. They'll encrypt them. They keep them for ransom. Any type of personal or financial information that's in those documents, they'll have access to your pictures, etc. Your online bank accounts, they get onto your computer. You know, if you're logged into your online bank accounts, and a lot of times part of the scam is to get you to log on to these bank accounts. But yeah, it's a lot easier for them to do. They get onto your computer. They could also install software or malicious software on your devices for remote access. They get back on whenever they want. So the worst thing you do is let these people onto your computer. These scammers, it'll be bad news if you do. And it's part of the playbook for a lot of scams now. Some of the worst scams. So some of those scams, they include the tech support scams. And we're going to talk about tech support scams in a little bit. But that's when these fake virus alerts pop up on your screen. And they get you to call a number where you're actually talking to tech support. A scammer impersonating tech support. And that scammer, the first thing you're going to ask is get on that PC to assist in that, removing that fake virus. There's no virus on your PC. It was a trick. It was a trick to get you to call that number and talk to a scammer. But yeah, that's a red flag. They're going to try to connect to your PC. So you never let a stranger on your PC, especially if it's from a number that just popped up on your screen. Fake order scams. You'll get a fake order notification. We're going to be talking about those in a little bit too. But this fake order notification will say to call this number to dispute this charge. And a lot of people will be, oh no, I'm going to get charged. I didn't place that order. Let me call this number to dispute it. They'll actually be connected to a scammer, and that scammer will ask to connect that person's PC. Let me connect to your PC. I'll take a look at your screen to help you straighten out the order details. But once they're on your PC, they're on there for good. And that same method also gets used in the fake fraudulent activity that we talked about in some of the earlier red flags. When they call up and impersonate an agency that's investigating fraud, they could be impersonating an agency or a bank. But when they're on the phone with you, they'll ask to access your PC to assist in checking your other accounts for suspicious activity, right? So they'll trick you into letting them onto your PC. And then while they're on your PC, they'll ask you to actually log into each of your bank accounts to confirm there's no suspicious activity. But while you're doing that, they're stealing your logins, they're stealing your credentials, and the entire time the victim doesn't realize that they're talking to a scammer. They think that they're talking to a bank or a government agency, right? So red flag if they're trying to connect your PC to assist, or investigate an issue. It's a big red flag. What I'd like to say is you should only let certain people on your PC. Everybody should have their own computer guy, whether it's the person working at the local computer shop or your tech guy at work or your family member that's good with your PC. But those should be the only people that you let onto your computer. If you get a virus alert, don't call a number on a virus alert. It's fake. If you're worried about your computer, call your computer guy, not some random number, on the screen that pops up. Don't trust a random email that comes in and says you have a virus. Don't trust a random phone call that says you have a virus. It's all very suspicious. Scammers use those methods. So only work with your computer guy. So that's red flag number 4. They try to connect to your PC to assist or investigate an issue. Red flag number 3, dealing with a scammer. Got one more red flag to go. Click the heart. Let us know if you're just joining us, how you found us. Click the thumbs up, give us a like. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We release scam awareness videos. We also just live stream every week. Every Thursday we do this live stream just to spread awareness about the latest scams, go over the headlines, the trends. Join our mailing list, our free email list, by going to scamaware101.com and clicking join mailing list. You can also follow us on your favorite social media platforms: Facebook, Threads, Instagram, Blue Sky, and X. We have links to each of our profiles on our website, scamaware101.com. And click that thumbs up, click that heart, and say hello in the chat as we continue to discuss some more red flags here. We got one more red flag in our top 5 red flags. Red flag number 5. They request that you keep the matter confidential or secret. It's very common for scammers to ask for confidentiality. They don't want you to discuss the situation with other people. The more people you talk to, the more likely you'll be told it's a scam. So the scammers don't want you communicating with people. They don't want you telling them what's going on. They're going to tell you to keep it secret. And the scammers are going to have stories and reasons for you to keep it secret. They're all part of the scam. So let's talk about a few examples of the scammers, requesting you to keep something confidential or secret. A grandparent scam. And this is one we're going to talk about in a little bit as well. A grandparent scam. That's when a scammer contacts a relative, your grandparent, claims that your son or daughter is arrested and needs money for release. They've been in an accident, some story like that, and they've been arrested. What they'll do as part of the request to keep things secret, the red flag, is they'll claim the relative is embarrassed and ask not to tell anybody. Right, so that's the red flag, or the request for secrecy. So investment scams. They'll say they have an inside tip and not to tell anybody. They'll say its price is just for you, not to tell anybody. Right, but that's the request for to keep it secret. The request for confidentiality. It's a red flag. You're dealing with a scammer. Inheritance scams. They'll mail letters impersonating law offices regarding an inheritance. In the letter or the email, they'll request confidentiality. So we have a few examples of that too. If we get to later on in the live stream, we'll share those. And then there we go, the fake fraudulent activity. Right, there we go again. That was mentioned, red flag number 4, right? Number 2, maybe 1. Impersonates an agency investigating fraud. The request confidentiality. And we actually read about this in the headlines too. So basically how this works is they reach out to the victim and they say, someone's gotten into your account, your money's not safe, your bank is under investigation, we need you to transfer the money out and withdraw the money. Right? That's the narrative. That's what they use to scare the victim into withdrawing their money. Your money's not safe, your bank's under investigation, we need you to withdraw the money. Right? Well, where does the request for secrecy come in? We read about this in the headlines. The scammer will tell the victim, when you get to the bank to withdraw the money, don't tell them the real reason why. Tell them you're just making a large purchase. Right? And that's the request for confidentiality. They'll tell them that since your bank's under investigation, you can't tell them why you're actually taking the money out. So lie to them. Just tell them this story. Tell them you're making a big purchase. That's what the scammer will tell you. That's the request for secrecy, which is the red flag, especially if they're asking you to lie and tell a fake story. Red flag, red flag. All right, and that's very common. It's a very common narrative where a lot of these scams end up going. So that's 5 red flags to be aware of that you're dealing with a scammer. And really, if you encounter any of these, you need to stop. Don't make any major decisions. Talk to a friend. Let them know what's going on. Stop and talk to some people. Do some research. Because if you hit any of these red flags, that's the sign to pause. Now we're going to read through the list real quick again. One more time for anybody just joining. So there's 5 red flags we just discussed that you might be talking to a scammer. The first one was they try to direct you to a third-party chat app like Telegram or WhatsApp to continue a conversation, right? So they'll initiate the conversation through a text message, a phone call, an email, but shortly into the conversation, they'll try to direct you to Telegram or WhatsApp. Big red flag, you're dealing with a scammer. Second red flag was they request payment in gift cards, prepaid cards, cryptocurrency, or by depositing cash at a Bitcoin ATM. Those are all common forms of payments that scammers use. It's much harder to retrieve those funds once it's sent. So there's a big red flag when someone, especially someone impersonating a government agency, is requesting gift cards or cryptocurrency. If anybody requests you to use a Bitcoin ATM, that's a major red flag. So it's a reason for pause. Red flag number 2. So next one, number 3. You're being asked to provide a code that was sent to your phone via text message. Meaning a person is saying that they want to confirm your identity. They want to confirm your phone number. I'm going to send you a code. Let me know what it is. That's a scam. What they're doing is they're trying to access one of your accounts. You're getting a code. If you provide it back, you're going to let them gain access to an account or create an account. So watch out for anybody that says they're going to send a code to your phone and need you to provide it back. It's a red flag. You could be dealing with a scammer, especially if it's on a marketplace type website like Facebook or Craigslist. Red flag number 4. They ask to connect your PC to assist or investigate an issue. Lots of scams. They've been upgraded. They've been adapted to the scammer eventually trying to get onto your PC as part of the script now. It's a gold mine to scammers to get access to your PC. So always be suspicious of anyone requesting access to your PC, especially if it's just somebody randomly that you called up for tech support. We'll be going over some more examples of these fake tech support scams. But red flag number 4, just be suspicious of people trying to connect to your PC. And then the final red flag, they request that you keep the matter confidential or secret. All right, so that's the 5th red flag. And there's tons of scams where they give you an excuse or a reason to keep it confidential, to keep it secret, but that's part of the scam. The reality is they just don't want you to talk to people. The less people you talk to, the less likely you'll be told it's a scam. You start asking people what they think, you'll recognize it's a scam sooner. The scammers don't want that. So that's a red flag number 5. They ask you to keep the matter confidential or secret. So, and that concludes the top 5 red flags that indicate you're dealing with a scammer. We have a video that uses those same slides. So if you know someone that would find those red flags useful, and again, we read these victims' stories, and a lot of them come down to those red flags. If they were aware of those just one of those red flags, it could have been enough to prevent them from getting scammed. So we do have that red flag video on our YouTube channel. There you go, check it out, and they can share it with a loved one if that info would be useful to them. All right, cool. So we're going to go into some more common scams and show you some more examples of these scams. But before we dive into that, I see a lot of new viewers. So awesome. Say hi in the chat. Hey, Cal. Cal, thank you. I remember you from last week. Cool to see you again. Just joined us for the first time. Say hello in the chat. Click that heart, give a thumbs up. Help us spread awareness. That's the goal here. We're trying to spread awareness about scams. We do this live stream every week. We discuss the latest scam trends. I'll show you examples of scams, go over the warnings that are coming out about scams. And there's all types of scams, not email scams, text message scams, phone call scams. We even have a portion of this live stream a little later where we go over snail mail scams, because the scammers are still using regular postal mail to target victims as well. So there's a lot to go over. There's a lot to be aware of. It's important to be aware of these things so you can protect yourself and your loved ones from these scams. So thank you for joining us. You can subscribe to our email list by going to scamware101.com. You can click join mailing list. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel. We do post videos of scam awareness tips too. And you can follow us on Facebook, Threads, Instagram, Blue Sky, X. So all good ways to follow us. So thank you for joining. Again, say hi in the chat. Click the heart, click the thumbs up. And we're going to continue this live stream after I take a quick sip of my coffee, and then we're going to go into some more common scams that are circulating right now and important to be aware of. My coffee is still warm because I'm drinking it out of my Scamaware 101 travel mug, which is available on our YouTube channel. All right, cool. So let's go over some more common scams. Bring my examples here for the next one. We're going to talk about a bank impersonation scam. And this one's extremely common right now. So I'm going to start off with an example of a TD bank card scam. So this example actually happened to a friend of mine a couple weeks ago, and she sent over the examples for me to use his presentation to share with everybody. But this bank impersonation scam that's currently circulating, and we touched it a little bit on the during the headlines when we talked about that victim of the USAA bank scam. Well, this is a version of that scam, same bank impersonation scam, but it's by TD Bank. And the scammers, they'll impersonate. The point is they'll impersonate any bank. You know, it's different. The scam is circulating as any type of bank you could think of, right? And how the scam works is they actually target the victim in multiple ways. This text message on my screen is from the scammer. But before this text message was received, they actually called the potential victim. They actually tried over phone first. They called her phone, and the caller ID actually showed the bank's phone number. So it's an example of that caller ID, again, not being a reliable way to know who you're talking to. So the scam starts out, the scammer calls, tries to reach her over the phone, caller ID shows the correct bank's phone number. She doesn't answer the phone. Immediately after, she gets a text message, and here's the text message. It's impersonating TD Bank, and it says there's activity on her card. It asks, did you attempt a transaction at Walgreens? Reply yes if recognized, or no if not. Right? So we're all familiar with these types of text messages that we get from the bank. Sometimes we're traveling somewhere out of state. We use our credit card or our bank card, and it gets blocked. You know, suspicious activity. And scammers are taking advantage of that. So they're calling the victim first by phone, then they're sending a follow-up text message. And the point of this scam is to get your personal information and your banking information. Because what they'll do is, if you reply to this message, they'll try to get additional information from you. You'll reply no, because clearly you didn't make this charge. You know, it's a fake notification. You would reply no, and then they would end up replying back saying your account's been frozen. Please provide your username. Please provide your social security number. Please provide your bank account. Please provide it, right? So it's going to try to get more information from the victim if you reply to this text message. However, if you had answered that phone, it probably would have went right down that same narrative. They would have said there's transactions under your account. We need to access your computer and take a look at your bank accounts, right? We need to withdraw your money. And it starts talking about that whole narrative about your money's not safe in the account. Somebody's using your account and making purchases. You need to withdraw the money and transfer it. That's the scam narrative. And that's where this bank impersonation scam leads to. And it starts with a phone call that looks like it's from your bank. It continues with a text message that looks like it's from your bank. And this type of scam is circulating right now. So the example on my screen is for TD Bank, but in the headline we just read, we saw the USAA version. And it can happen to your bank too. Whatever bank you used, you could receive. You'd be a target of one of these types of scams. So how do you recognize that this isn't from your bank? Well, we actually had TD Bank verify a couple of things for us about how to identify that this text message is fake. First of all, it comes from a real phone number.
If this had really been from the bank, it would have came from one of those short code text messages, those 5-digit number text messages. It would have came from a real phone number. So first indicator is it came from a real phone number instead of a short code number. The second indicator is if this had been from your bank, there would have been something referencing the account. So it would have been like the last 4 digits of your account or account starting with. There would have been something there indicating the account that I was talking about. Not 100% way to verify because, as we discussed before, scammers know this stuff. They may already have that and include that in the scam. But if it's missing it, it does indicate that it's not from your bank. And there's little capitalization things, right? Like the word transaction is capitalized for no reason right in the middle of a sentence. The word not is capitalized right in the middle. So there's like little punctuation, grammar type things too, which give it away. But the official giveaway is the phone number. It didn't come from one of those short codes. It actually came from a real number, which means it's from a scammer. So watch out for this. And again, I'm going to stress it multiple times. That caller ID shows your bank's phone number. That doesn't mean you should trust it. You got to hang up. You got to hang up and reach out to your bank directly. Because there's nothing a scammer won't know about you that they could convince you over the phone that they're the bank. You know, they might already have all your details to convince you. So you got to hang up and call your bank directly. That's the only way you know you're not talking to a scammer, if they're calling your phone. And text messages like these, you got to click report junk and don't reply. Some people like to reply to these scammers and mess with them, when they clearly know it's a scam. But I recommend against that. If anything, you're at the least you're verifying that you received the message. They know that you read them. They might target you with more scams from different phone numbers. So I just recommend, hitting report junk, don't reply, ignore them. And, on the topic of this type of bank impersonation scam, so this is the text message that you saw, right? And this is a real text message, one we received a few weeks ago. So we know they tried by phone. We know they sent by text message. But then, according to this article, this poor woman, this victim, she fell for the email version of this. So the scammers are using this bank impersonation scam. They're targeting victims by phone, by email, by text message. So watch out for these bank impersonation scams. They're extremely common right now. And beware, you can't trust the phone number on caller ID because it will show the bank's phone number. We know that these scammers are doing that. Who's still with us? Let me know in the chat. Click the heart. Let me know you're out there. The next common scam. This one's probably the most common one going around right now. Most of you might have already heard about it. If you follow this stuff at all, you probably already have heard about it. But it's the unpaid road toll scam. Everybody's getting this text message. And there's also email versions. But the text messages are the ones that are circulating a lot right now. So again, it's the unpaid road toll text messages. And I have a lot of examples I'm going to share with you right now. And this scam started middle of last year. And it's just been picking up steam, and different versions have been coming out of it. It's wild how much this scam has continued to spread and adapt and the different variations going around. But basically, victims are contacted about unpaid tolls and asked to pay through a link or risk penalties. It comes through a text message that impersonates their state's toll service provider. And what's amazing about this scam is it's impersonating everybody. Right? It's impersonating these text messages that are coming in. They're claiming to be from SunPass. They'll claim to be from Peach Pass, Quick Pass, Good to Go, which is the Washington version of Easy Pass. North Texas Tollway, Drive Easy Maryland, Fast Track, and the list goes on. There's Easy Drive Massachusetts is on the list out there, and it's expanding massively, and it continues to spread more and more. I know the name of way too many toll departments in other states that I shouldn't even need to know of because of this scam and researching it. That's how many different toll agencies that this scam has continued to impersonate and circulate as. So if you get any text messages claiming to be from a toll service and saying that you owe a toll, be extremely suspicious. Don't click on any links that you get in that text message. Just to give you an idea, here's the original version of this text message that was circulating last year. that we did a video about. We were on top of this one. We did a video about this one. It's still on our YouTube channel. But on my screen, you can see all the different ones that were just circulating last year. California toll services, North Carolina toll services, Illinois tollway, Ohio toll services, Virginia toll services, your recent trip through the New Jersey toll point, Pennsylvania Turnpike, New York toll services, Florida SunPass. Those are all different text messages impersonating those different agencies with links to all different websites that are fake but are made to look like those agencies to steal your information. So these are all screenshots of the original version of this text message. But this text message has only adapted more over the past months. There's been talk about different crime groups getting involved in it, and that's why there's so many different versions. I've heard China's behind it. I've heard Russia's behind it. Who knows at the end of the day? But here's a different version of this scam. Please pay your toll in Florida by January 22nd. Or it has a date there. Also, remember earlier we mentioned this little instruction at the bottom about replying yes? There's that instruction again. So that's a red flag. It gives away a lot of scam messages. But anyway, so this is one of your please pay your toll in Florida, right? So that's a different variation of that. Here's another one. Easy Drive, Massachusetts. Reminder, your bill is due soon. Please visit. And there's a link to the fake website. It's going to steal your information. Another variation. It doesn't specifically say a state in the text, but it does say Easy Drive MA in the link. There's that giveaway instruction to please reply yes. But it says you have a toll amount of $6.99. But if you click that link, any information you provide is going to get stolen. And this scam is circulating so much right now. So many people have received this type of text message scam. Here's one that impersonates Fast Track. Your Fast Track lane tolls due by January 24th to avoid a fine and keep your license, right? So it's trying to suspend your license. This latest version, this was first reported last week, to me by a friend. And it was a new version, and now we're starting to see the media cover it this week, but this says toll evasion. The toll roads notice of a toll evasion. You have an unpaid toll bill on your account. The toll roads team wishes you a great day. So it's just another version that's saying toll evasion now. So be aware of these road toll scams. It's starting to get a lot of attention now. The media has been covering it a lot. There's a lot of warnings coming out of so many states about this scam. Just to give you an idea of what it does. If you followed that link for Good to Go, for example, it would take you to a website. It would take you to a website that looks like it's the agency. It'll have their colors, like you see on my screen here. It'll use their logo, but it's not. It's a fake website that the scammer set up to steal your info. Then you click payment, and the scammer steals whatever credit card details you put in. That's one example of what could happen if you click on that link. There's so many different variations now. It could do anything at this point. Install malware. So be aware of these unpaid toll scams. Lots of reports about this one going around, and especially from law offices, police departments, and sheriff's offices been warning us about this one too. Who's with us? Say hello in the chat. We got 2 live streams going. We got the vertical live stream and the widescreen live stream going. We got some people chatting in each. Click that heart. Say hello. Give us a thumbs up. Any subscriptions to our YouTube channel helps. We're just trying to spread awareness about scams. You could help by clicking a like, clicking that thumbs up, interacting in the chat, subscribing to our YouTube channel. This helps spread awareness about these scams. This way people could be aware of how to protect themselves and their loved ones from becoming a victim. Right now, we're just going over some more common scams. This next one, tech support scams. If you're just joining, this is one to stick around for here. These tech support scams, a lot of older folks are falling for these. Very common. And what they are is they're fake virus alerts that pop up on the screen that actually trick the victim into calling the scammer. So usually we're used to these scammers trying to reach us. Usually it's the scammer trying to call our phone or sending us a text message trying to get the victim to reply. But in this type of scam, these tech support scams with their fake pop-up alerts, these are designed to actually trick the victim into calling the scammer. Right? So the tech support scams. Fraudsters impersonate tech support representatives claiming there's a virus or problem with the victim's device. They request access to the victim's PC to steal personal information and financial data. Right, so this goes along with the red flag that we mentioned earlier. If they're trying to connect to your PC, that's a red flag. And it's very common with the tech support scams. And we're going to spend some time going into this type of scam right now. So I'm going to share a bunch of examples. The first examples are going to be some generic versions, but then I'm going to show you some more realistic versions. But we're going to start off with a couple of generic versions here just to give you an idea of these tech support scams. So right now you can see on my screen, you're minding your own business, browsing the internet, and all of a sudden, boom, you get this pop-up on your screen. Big scary warning, red letters, 5 viruses detected. Lots of scary stuff listed. System crashing, file deletion, theft, your Wi-Fi lost, affecting your other devices. Right? And it advises to call immediately. Call this 800 number immediately. This is a scam. If you call that number, you'll be connected to a scammer. And a scammer is going to try to get access to your computer and actually do these things. Second example of this type of generic tech support warning follows the same theme. Warning, check your computer now. Call this number immediately for assistance to remove potential viruses. There's a list of scary data that's exposed, right? Your credit card details, email and passwords, Facebook, private photos. So the idea is they want you to call this number to be connected to a scammer. And a scammer is going to impersonate tech support. Thank you for calling tech support. Let me connect your computer. But it's a scammer. They're going to steal your banking information, your passwords. Don't let these people on your computer. And the way you identify these fake pop-ups is if it has a phone number, that's how you know it's fake. A real virus alert doesn't have a phone number to call. Here's one more generic example. And you can see, I'm going to zoom in a little bit, but you see, if you're computer savvy, you'll see the website address at the top. You're able to identify, like, okay, this is just a pop-up from a website. It's not a real virus alert. It's just a pop-up from systemversion.com, S1, blah, 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 blah. Right? It's a website pop-up. But someone that's not computer savvy, doesn't use computers that often, something like this can scare them. It's scary. They think their computer has a virus. To remove viruses, call tech support now, right? So it uses fear to convince them to call this number. And it also unarms them. They let their guard down because now they're calling the scammer, right? It's not like they have their guard up because the scammer is calling them. Now they're actually calling the scammer. So it takes even longer to realize, oh, wait a minute, that this is a scam. You think you're calling tech support. So those are 3 generic examples of these fake pop-ups that try to trick victims into calling a scammer. Let's look at some more realistic ones, though. Again, we're talking about tech support scams, and they're fake virus alerts that trick a victim into calling a scammer. And here's one that looks much more realistic, and it impersonates McAfee. Right? You see it has their logo, their colors. Your PC is infected with viruses. This is another example where if your computer savvy, you can see in the background that's a website pop-up. But it's pretty convincing if you're not really familiar with this stuff, especially if you know you have McAfee on your computer and you get a pop-up like this. But again, the giveaway is it has a phone number, though. If a real virus alert wouldn't have a phone number to call. So that's the giveaway. Among other things, there's a little like punctuation, right? Like in one title, the A is capitalized, and another title is not. But the main giveaway is a phone number. If you get a pop-up like this that has a phone number to call, you know it's a scam. If you call that number, you'll get connected to a scammer. Here's one that impersonates Norton by Symantec. System critically infected. If you're not able to click on this button, immediately contact support. It has a phone number. But what's kind of funny about this fake virus alert is it's actually designed for a button not to work. So if you click go or apply all, it's not going to work. And the point is, they want you to call this number. So that's why I mentioned there. If you're not able to click on this button, call the number. It's all part of the scam. If you call that number, it'll be connected to the scammer. And then you got Windows Defender. It uses their colors. It has Microsoft's logo. Big scary pop-up about what's been compromised, your email credentials, your banking passwords, Facebook. Contact Windows support at this number. But it's a scam. If you call that number, they'll impersonate Windows support, but it's a scammer. That's what a tech support scam does. It scares the victim with a pop-up like this, and the victim thinks they're calling tech support. Another example, Windows Defender. Same idea. It's got Windows, Microsoft logo, same colors. Contact Windows Support. But if you call that number, it's going to be a scammer. It's not going to be Windows Support. So watch out for pop-ups like these. And one of the things that's especially tricky about these tech support scams is not limited to just Windows users or PCs, right? I have some examples here that target Apple and Safari. So here's an example that targets Safari specifically. It even has a Safari logo on the fake pop-up. It follows the same theme, right? Big scary red letters, virus found. Your Mac computer has 13 infections. There's a list of scary stuff. Your credit card details are exposed at risk. Email, password, Facebook, private photos. This one says your webcam could be accessed. Then it says technicians are standing by. But if you call that number, it's actually a scammer. And this one targets Apple users, Mac users, Safari users. Here's another one that targets Apple. This one impersonates Apple Care. Has Apple logo. Red letters, call Apple support. It's not really Apple support though. You call that number, they'll impersonate them, but it's not them. So that's another example. And here's one more that targets Apple users. Here's the last one for Apple users, right? It has the Apple logo there. It follows the same trend. You know, scary red letters. You're infected with malware. Call Apple support at this number. Call Apple helpline. But this is just a website pop-up that's designed to scare the user into calling a scammer. And again, these these tech support scams, where you have the fake virus pop-ups, they don't just target PCs and laptops, Apple. They target your device too, your phone. So you could be browsing on your iPhone or your Android device, and you could get another pop-up that says your device is infected. So your iPhone's infected, your Android device is infected. They'll call this number. They'll have a number to a call center that's full of scammers waiting for you to call. Because you got to remember, that's who you're up against. You're up against a call center of scammers. Their job, they do this all day long. They sit there answering phone calls of people falling for these scams that are thinking they're calling tech support or customer support and various other scams. So that's a tech support scam, extremely common scam. They take the victims for everything they're worth. They get onto the victim's computer. They start logging into bank accounts and taking everything. So be aware of this one. A lot of older folks fall for this one. We got one more common scam we're going to go over, and we're going to talk about some resources next. But who's with me? Click the heart, click the like, give us a thumbs up, say hi in the chat if you're just joining us. You can follow us on Facebook, Blue Sky, X, Threads, Instagram. Click that subscribe button. Help us get some subscribers. Click subscribe. Help spread awareness of these scams. Doesn't cost anything to click subscribe. So the next scam we're going to talk about, fake order scam. This one, important to be aware of this one. A lot of people have been reporting this one to me, and it's extremely common because it's attacking victims from all sides, right? There's phone versions of the scam. There's text message versions of the scam. There's email versions of the scam. And I have examples of all of them for you. So you'll be aware of it. You'll know what to expect now. But this one's spreading a lot right now. Lots of people have been reporting the same text message to me, the same phone calls to me, emails. It is a fake order scam. And how it works and why it's called a fake order scam is because it's almost similar to the tech support scam where the victim is actually tricked into calling the scammer. How they're tricked is they receive a notification about a fake order. They'll get a text message saying a purchase was made. They'll get an email saying a purchase was made. They'll get a phone call saying a purchase was made. No purchase was made. It's a fake order notification, but it'll trick the victim into trying to dispute the fake order. When they call to dispute the fake order, they connect to a scammer. And that's known as a fake order scam. And we have quite a few examples here to share with you. First is this text message that's currently circulating. And the exact same text message was reported to me by multiple people. And the text message claims that an order was placed using your Apple iCloud ID. It was used at an Apple store. And it says, call this number immediately to cancel the charge. Again, multiple people sent me the exact same screenshot. They got the exact same scam text message. And if you call that number, what's going to happen? You'll be connected to a scammer. And that's the idea of this fake order notification scam. They hit you with a fake notification about a fake order. And the idea is to get you to call this number to dispute it. I didn't place that order. What's going on here? I'm going to call this number. I got to dispute it. So there's a text message version of how a scammer tricks victims into calling them. What to expect if you called this number and you're dealing with the scammer, they're going to go into that whole narrative. Your identity's been stolen. Someone has access to your accounts. You need to transfer the money out so it's safe. Someone's clearly making purchases using your account, right? Which is all part of the scam. It's all a lie. But that's what they're going to tell you once you get them on the phone. They're going to try to get access to your PC. They're going to authorize. They're going to tell you to withdraw your money and transfer it somewhere else. But how they hook you is with this initial text message that says a purchase was made under your account with this fake order notification. So this is a text message version of it. But I have the phone call version of it. I actually got 2 recordings that I'm going to share with you right now. And how these work is these are phone calls that say an order was placed under your account, and they instruct you to press 1 to be connected to a customer service rep. But you'll actually be connected to a scammer if you press 1. I think it's tricky about this scam, as you're about to ready to see, is that the phone call could claim that the purchase was any product. It could claim it was at any vendor. The 2 examples I'm going to share, one claims you had purchased a MacBook from Amazon. The other claims that you purchased a PlayStation from Walmart. So I'm going to play both of these examples for you. And these are the type of phone calls that, if you get them, they're part of a fake order notification. The idea is to trick you into calling back. So I'm going to play the first example for you right now. And while I'm playing this example, hit the heart. Let me know in the chat. Let me know if you're here listening. Don't look like we got too many viewers this time around, but that's okay. I'm going to keep going for a little bit more. And in the meantime, you can help by clicking that thumbs up if you haven't yet. But anyway, here's an example of a fake order scam phone call that you may receive. And that is currently circulating.
This call is to authorize the payment of $1,499 for the recent order of Apple MacBook Pro on your Amazon account. If you do not authorize this payment, please press 1 to speak to our customer support representative.
So that was the first example of a robocall. And as you can tell, it was just a recording. But what it said was a MacBook Pro was purchased under your account for $1,400 was purchased on your Amazon account. And it says press 1 to dispute it and talk to customer service. So that's the definition of a fake order scam, right? It's trying to cause urgency and cause fear and panic. $1,400. Your account's going to get charged $1,400 for MacBook Pro. I didn't purchase a MacBook Pro. I got to call this number back immediately. I got to hit 1 and then talk to a customer service rep, right? It creates that fear and that panic. And once you hit 1 to dispute that fake order, you're going to be connected to a scammer unknowingly, right? So that was one example of a phone call, claiming you purchased a MacBook from Amazon. This next version that we also have recorded, it claims that you purchased a PlayStation from Walmart. So let's listen to that recording as well.
We are trying to contact you concerning an unverified purchase of PlayStation 5 Special Edition bundled with Pulse 3D headset being ordered from your Walmart account for an amount of $859.50. If you did not authorize this transaction or wish to cancel, please press 1 or return our call on same number at your earliest convenience.
So that's another real example and recording of a fake order scam phone call. And there were a couple of red flags there too. Notice at the end it said or call back number, right? If you get a message that says call back the number that was shown, that's a red flag that it's a scam. So that's all something to watch out for. But anyway, that was 2 different recordings of these fake order scam phone calls that you might receive. And what's important to realize is, again, these calls, they could say any product, they could say any vendor. The idea is they just want you to call back and initiate that conversation with a scammer. They'll pretend to be customer support. They'll pretend to help you, but they're really going to try to steal your personal information, your financial information, and a lot of times they'll try to connect to your computer too and get whatever else they can. So as far as the fake order scams go, I showed you the text message version that you got to watch out for. It's currently circulating. Played 2 recordings of phone calls for you that are circulating, trying to initiate the contact with the scammer. But then here's the email version, or at least a story and article about an email version. We get to hear about what happened to a victim late last year. So this article is from August 2024, a few months old. In this case, a 23-year-old Lincoln woman reported losing $4,100 after falling victim to an identity fraud scam in July. The scam began on July 17th with an email claiming she had purchased an iPhone. The woman called the number provided in the email to dispute the purchase and was told she had multiple accounts open in her name across various states. She was informed someone was using her identity. All right, so let's pause there. That's the example of the email version of these fake order scams. The victim received an email claiming she purchased an iPhone. That's the fake order. That's the fake order notification. She didn't purchase an iPhone, but she got notified that she did. The woman then called the number provided in the email. It's a fake phone number, right? She calls that email, or she calls that phone number. She's actually getting connected to a scammer. She thinks that she's talking to Apple support or some other legit support, service, but she's actually talking to a scammer. And the scammer tells her that her identity has been stolen. And that's where they go into that whole narrative about someone stole your identity. Someone has access to your account. We need to move that money, which is all part of the scam to get you withdraw your money. So that's the email version that happened to this victim. In her case, it was an iPhone. Fake notification about an iPhone that she did not purchase. But what's fascinating about this article is it gives you a little bit more details about what happens. So the victim gets the email about an iPhone purchase. She calls the number. She's unknowingly connected to a scammer. She's talking to the scammer. Scammer tells her identity has been stolen. Right. At that point, the scammer then connected the woman to a person posing as a CIA agent who instructed her to withdraw $3,600 from her bank account. So these scammers, they work in teams. You have to remember that too. They have openers. They have closers. The initial person she talked to, opened the scam. Then he transferred it to a closer that actually gets the money. And that's the closer was actually a scammer impersonating a CIA agent, right? So the CIA tells this victim to withdraw $3,600 from her bank account. Next day, she's instructed to buy gift cards from Walmart, prepaid gift cards. Additionally, the woman sent another 500 cash card to the scammer. So red flags all over the place, right? And it's an example about how a little bit of awareness about these little details might have been enough to prevent all this. Being aware that the gift cards are a red flag, prepaid gift cards. Being aware of that could have been enough to stop this scam. Being aware of a fake order scam. This fake order scam that we're talking about right now. Being aware of that type of scam, knowing that you might get notified by phone, by email, by text message. You might get notified about an order that you didn't place. Be aware that that's a common scam. Sure, you might be getting a legit notification, but be aware that there's a scam version. Don't accept, right off the bat that a notification is real until you actually look into it and do your due diligence. Check your bank card, see if there's actually a transaction list, But don't click the links and don't call these numbers back immediately. Be aware that this is a scam. And a lot of people are falling for the scam. But anyway, not to get off topic, there were those red flags. Withdraw your money, purchase gift cards, red flag. The whole narrative about your account's been infiltrated, you need to move your money. That's a common narrative. Being aware of that one, it's a red flag. So, victim lost $4,100 at a scam. Fake order scams. Who's still with us? Wow, we ended up being right back on schedule at 8:35. Resources. Perfect timing, actually. Who's still with us? If you're just joining, say what's up in the chat. Click the heart, click the thumbs up, click the like. Let us know you're watching. If you don't subscribe yet, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Our goal is to spread awareness about these scams. We do this live stream every week. We also release videos on our YouTube channel as well. So definitely subscribe. You can join our email list too. It's a free email list. You go to scamaware101.com, click join mailing list, and you'll get reminders when we're doing live streams, and you'll get some emails about scam awareness tips. We won't abuse your email address. We won't sell it either. So rest assured, and you could easily unsubscribe if you want. But we won't abuse it, I promise. Also, be sure to follow us on your favorite social media platforms. We've got Facebook, Threads, Instagram, Blue Sky, X. We're definitely trying to get our followers up on Facebook. We want to live stream on Facebook, but we don't have enough followers yet. So if you haven't liked us on Facebook yet, please take a moment, hop over to facebook.com/scamware101 and click like and follow. It'll help us get our stream on Facebook too. All right, let's see how my coffee's doing in my Scamware 101 travel mug, available on our YouTube channel store. Or if you go to scamware101.com and scroll to the bottom, there's now a link to merch store down here. Click that link, and it brings you to our merch store too. All right, so this next portion of the live stream, we went over a lot of scam examples, a lot of headlines, got a pretty good idea about the trending scams. But let's talk about some resources and tools that you could use as far as defending yourself or researching these things. And one of our goals here at scamware101.com is to try to make these resources easily accessible all through our website. We're trying to build out a knowledge base to contain examples and information about these scams to help people identify quicker. If they're getting a text message, I want them to be able to see an example of that text message and know right away, okay, this exact same text message was reported as a scam, so I know it's a scam, right? So we're trying to build out a knowledge base here. It's coming along. We've got about 10 types of scams listed here, but we're building out. We got a list of 60 that we're in the process of getting built out here. But check our knowledge base, click on a scam, and we have a definition there, a video that links to our YouTube video if we did one, and it's coming along. So keep on checking back, and if you have examples of scams you want to share it too, take some screenshots. You can send them over to scams at scamware101.com. By the way, that's a knowledge base we're building out. But a very useful resource currently is under tools and resources. And we started breaking it down into multiple sections. So what we're going to go over right now is the online tools and software section. Let me make it a little bigger so hopefully you can read it on my screen. So again, this is on our scamware101.com website, tools and resources, and this is online tools and software. You can get to it right at the bottom of our homepage. We got the link here, online tools and software, right at the bottom. Or you could just click on resources on the homepage and then online tools and software. But lots of useful stuff on this page. The first set of tools that everybody should use and be aware of. We have 4 links to data breach lookup tools. These 4 tools are free. Well, the initial scans are free. They'll try to pitch you a service afterwards. If you want to purchase a service, that's fine. They'll try to pitch you dark web monitoring. But the scan is free. So you do the initial scan, and it'll tell you all sorts of data, personal data of yours that's been leaked from third parties. Because what's happening here is you could protect, personally, you could protect your information as best you can. But third-party services are getting breached, and that's where your information is getting stolen. Medical services are getting breached. Social Security background check services are getting breached. And all this private data that they have stored on you, whether you submit it to them or they got it in some kind of nefarious way, all that personal data about you is being breached and sold on the dark web. So it's important to know what information about you is out there. We're talking about things like passwords and usernames, banking information, right? So what you could do is these 4 links that's available, under tools and resources, our data breach lookup tools. There are 4 different third-party services, all trustworthy, all reliable. You can go to these sites and you can plug in your email address or your phone number on some of them, and it'll come back. It'll tell you what data of yours has been exposed in these breaches. And some of them will even show you passwords that have been exposed in this breach. So it's important to know that, is because you'll see your passwords right in front of your eyes. There's your passwords. And if you're using those passwords on still using those passwords, it's important to know that, you know, the scammers have it. Those passwords are already exposed. They're out there. You know, everybody has a personal file being sold about them on the dark web, and that file includes all the data that's leaked from third parties, and banking information, social security information, just tons of information about you that you wouldn't even think that they would have. But anyway, I digress. The whole point of this is under tools and resources, you use these data breach lookup tools. Again, all 4 of them are free, right? And you could see what type of information about you is out there. And I let you to be aware of the type of stuff scammers are going to use against you too, right? If you know that your bank account number is being sold on a dark web, suddenly if somebody calls and claims they're your bank and offers your bank account number, well, wait a minute, any scammer could get that information about me. So I recommend going to the tools and resources page, online tools, scamware101.com, right? And check all 4 of these links, check them out, put in your email address, put in your phone number, and see what data is out there about you. It's critical to know, and especially which passwords are floating around. The last two links here actually come back and show you what passwords of yours are there. So check out the data breach tools under tools and resources, scamware101.com, and click a heart. Tell us about it in the chat. Let us know if you've ever used these tools before. Could definitely recommend it. See what's out there about yourself. Next section, we have a few affiliate services that we have listed here. So if you're interested in any of these pieces of software, NordPass, a great password manager. Again, you should be using that. You want to have a separate password for every account, because of those breaches. So use NordPass, and it's a password manager. So you could have all different random passwords for accounts. So you keep track of them right in NordPass. So use our link. You get over 2 years. You end up getting for $35 if you use our link. So if you're thinking about using NordPass, you need a password manager, definitely come to our page, click that link. And come on, $35 for 2 years of a password manager. Yeah, very good one too. NordVPN, 72% off. I think it ends up being like $100 if you get the. Here, I'm gonna click it. Let me show you real quick. If you get the plus, you get the basic one, where it ends up being $81 for 2 years, right? But if you get the plus for $20 more, $105 a year, that actually includes a password manager. So if you're thinking about getting NordVPN or VPN, you're thinking about a password manager, get NordVPN, pick the plus version, and you'll get the password manager with it. You need to now, and you need to get a password manager these days. And the whole reason why I mentioned those data breach lookup tools before is because that's a perfect example of why. You'll type your email address into these checks, you'll type your phone number in these checks, it'll come back and show you a password that you're currently using. And you'll be like, wait a minute, that's a password that's not a real password, it's a real password I use now. And you'll be shocked to find out it's being sold on a dark web and exposed already. But that's why I use a password manager, to let you use different accounts across different accounts, different passwords across different accounts. So anyway, NordVPN, NordPass. Whole point is I got some good links here. If you're going to use those pieces of software, it's the best deals possible, those 2 links. So come here, click those links, and get a huge discount. Malwarebytes. I have a link to premium here. We also have a link to the free version, but the free version is just to run scans, when manually. The free version doesn't have active monitoring. So Malwarebytes is a great antivirus, is a great malware remover piece of software. If you want the premium version that offers real-time monitoring, I have the link here. You get 25% off. So considering buying Malwarebytes or upgrading, use my link, get 25% off. Also link to Delete Me, 20% off, where they'll remove you off all these public websites that list your information. Useful service, pretty cool. Doesn't really help with the dark web, but it still hides a little bit of information about yourself if you're interested in that type of thing, which I recommend. They got good reviews. So use my link, save 20% off. I'm very clear about affiliate links. I wouldn't recommend services that I didn't trust or use myself or hear good things about. So if you're going to use them, might as well get big discount. Use my link over on the resources page of scamware101.com. The next section under these online tools and resources is some free software. We mentioned Malwarebytes free, right? Which is a great removal piece of software. So your computer's running slow, you're worried you have a virus, or you want to fake pop-ups and you're concerned, you go install Malwarebytes free and you can run a scan on your computer. It's different than an antivirus. The antivirus will actually monitor your system in real time. So in that case, Windows has something built in, but it's always good to have a third-party antivirus because it comes with additional things, meaning like I'll have a website filter and I'll block bad links, and it goes to extra steps. So in that case, you can download Bitdefender. It's also a free antivirus, which is pretty good. So I have the link there. So free link to Malwarebytes, free link to Bitdefender antivirus. But then the third link I have here is actually the first link on the list, but is Malwarebytes Browser Guard. So when I started this live stream earlier, I mentioned that I have a browser, an ad blocker enabled, right, when we were doing the headlines. And a few times when we opened up one of the headlines, we saw that there's a pop-up saying, you have an ad blocker, please turn it off. That told us the ad blocker was working. Well, that ad blocker is Malwarebytes Browser Guard, which is a free browser extension. Downloaded it a couple weeks ago, installed it in my Chrome, enabled it in incognito mode, so it's running even in incognito. And the icons are at the top of the screen. It shows me how many ads it blocked, and we see it's working. So it's a pretty cool free browser extension. And I have it listed right here under Tools, link directly to it under our online tools and resources. We also have a couple reverse image lookup services listed here. And these are useful when you're dealing with a stranger, whether it's in most cases, a romance scam. You think you're talking to somebody. What you can do is you can take their picture and you can run it through these reverse image checks. I have a link to 3 different ones, and they'll come back and they'll tell you if they found that same image being used somewhere else. And what that is, that indicates that you might not be talking to the person that they claim they are. They stole somebody else's pictures, and that's why it would show up in these searches. So that's called a reverse image lookup. We have 3 links here to 3 different services. They're all free. Right? One is called TinEye, reverse image search. Another is Bing, visual search. Another is Google image search. So recommend using all 3. You pop a picture in of someone you're talking to that you suspect is a scammer, and might come back with some surprising results. For those of us that were watching for those of you that were watching the live stream last week, I did have a 4th link here. It was to Social Catfish. But I discovered afterwards that when you do an image search, they don't provide the results unless you pay. So I was under the impression that they gave you a free sample, but they took your email address and then they say, now you got to pay. So I removed the link over here. I don't like that. I thought they give a free sample. They requested your email address first, though, and it's kind of a little misleading. So I removed that link off here. And the 3 links now for these reverse image lookups are free and pretty good. So if any of you think you're dating a scammer being catfished, pop their images into these reverse image searches, see what the internet comes back with. Then also on this page, we have some links to some website safety lookup tools. So like Norton Safe Web, Google Safe Browsing, VirusTotal.com. And what you can do is you could pop the URL into one of these checks, and it'll come back and it'll tell you if there's any ratings or reviews from people. If the Google Safe Browsing will tell you if it detected the site as unsafe or dangerous. VirusTotal will tell you if it's detect anything suspicious. So you could pop some websites into each of these if you're suspicious or want to see what people are saying. And then we have a link to some scam tracking tools and scam tracker maps as well. The BBB has one, AARP has one. Maybe I'll give you a little deeper demo of that a little later in this live stream, if anybody's interested. But these are all very useful tools, all under our resources section and then online tools and software. So check it out. And again, remember about these special deals for NordPass, NordVPN. Pretty good deals. All right, cool. We're going for about 3 hours now. Think about maybe wrapping it up here. I do have plenty of other scams I could go over. I got at least another hour's worth. I'm not seeing too many people here tonight, though. Seems like a slow night, so I might wrap this up early. Unless you're watching out there, let me know you're watching. Click the heart. Say hello in the chat. It's around the time the West Coast starts joining. So maybe we'll go for a little bit more. Sometimes it picks up around this time. We got a little bump last week because of the West Coast. Coffee's still warm. Scamware 101 travel mug. All right. So I'm going to roll right into... Actually, let me top off my coffee real quick, because if I'm going to keep on going, I'm going to need more coffee. Maybe some more people will join us in the meantime. How we doing out there? So we got the poll running in both chats right now. If you join the Scamware 101 mailing list, we got 50% in the vertical chat, and we got 62% no on the horizontal chat. So if you haven't joined our mailing list yet, join our free email list. Go to scamware101.com, click join mailing list. We won't spam you. We'll send you good, useful info. I promise, and you could unsubscribe if you're not happy with it. But all right, quick coffee break for 5 minutes. John, I need you to copy the URL for our live stream and just go start posting it in a bunch of other live channels. Let's go hijack some more viewers. All right. Got to top off my coffee here, and then we're going to jump into some more common scams. We got some good stuff coming up, too. Some of the best scams, save best for last. We got an example of a grandparent scam coming up, an awesome video. We're going to the wrong number scams we talked about, gift card scams, fake retail websites, so many good stuff. So much good stuff. So stay tuned. And we're going to get back in 5 minutes, and we're going to keep on rolling, as Fred Durst likes to say. Be back in a moment.
All right, let's see how we're doing here. Should we keep going? Looks like we got some more viewers. If you're just joining us, say hi in the chat. We'll keep going. We got a bunch more scams we could cover here. Some of the best ones, actually. If you're just joining us, say hi. Click the heart. Click the thumbs up. The more subscribers we get, the better. Helps our content spread. And our goal is to spread awareness of these scams. So you can protect yourself, protect your loved ones, and know when you're being scammed. Too many people losing their life savings to these scammers. They're very clever. They're attacking you by phone. They're attacking you by text message, by email, from all directions. And they're only going to get more advanced with AI. So it's important to be aware of this stuff. So we do this live stream every Thursday, 5:45 p.m. We've been going for about 3 hours. Maybe we'll go for another hour. We'll see how we're feeling. But we spent the first hour covering the latest headlines, seeing which scams are trending, what warnings were released in the past week. It gives us an idea which scams are popular at the moment. And then after that, we went into some actual examples of text messages and phone calls and emails. Discussed 5 red flags, which we have a video on our YouTube channel of those 5 red flags too. So definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out our other content. A lot of these scams that we're discussing, we actually did videos on. And we have a video right on our YouTube channel. We did one for the arrest warrant scam, the fake arrest warrant scam, jury duty scam. We did one for the road toll scam, which is extremely popular right now. Did one for the tech support scams, fake order scams. Yep. So we have videos about those all on our YouTube channel. So you could always go back, check those out, and share them with a loved one if you think they need to be aware of these things, which everybody really should. We also have some videos about the wrong number scam, which we're about to talk about shortly. Undeliverable package scam, we have a video about that one, which we'll probably talk about in a little bit. Yeah, so check out our YouTube channel. Hit subscribe if you don't subscribe already. And click that heart. Give us a thumbs up. We're going to keep on going here. Help support something good. I even had the Fred Durst name drop. Right, John? You got it. All right, let's keep rolling. Grandparent scams is our next scam that we're going to talk about here. And this one's particularly a heinous act scam that targets older folks and uses their emotions against them, and it's pretty crazy. And the examples I'm about to show you is actually pretty good. It gives you a good idea about what's going on with these grandparent scams behind the scenes. Just bear with me one sec. I'm just bringing up my slide here. So grandparent scam is when the scammer impersonates a police officer or a loved one and claims that they've been in an accident, they're in jail, they need financial help to get released. Victims, usually seniors, will act quickly to assist loved ones. Right. So basically what happens here, or I'm just going to show you the video. I'm not even going to try to explain it. Let me actually show you the video. And this is a scammer that's reaching out to an older woman, and it impersonates a cop, impersonates a loved one, a daughter, right, and claims that her daughter is in jail. They're located in Dominican Republic. I got a news article about too that we're going to go after this. But let's take a look at this video. One of these scam baiters actually hacked and got into the scammer's computer, and he turned on a webcam and recorded him in the while doing a grandparent scam. So you could actually watch the scammer through their webcam of them performing attempting this grandparent scam on an elderly woman. So let's take a list. Well, let's watch that video right now, and then we're gonna break it down. It's fascinating. And we do a breakdown afterwards. So let's take a look at this video. Grandparent scam in progress. Dominican Republic scammer.
Oh, Mom, I had a car accident. Huh?
I had a car accident, Mom.
Is this Linda?
It's me, Linda.
Where are you?
I got a car accident.
What happened?
I'm gonna put the officer on. I got arrested.
You got arrested?
Hi, ma'am.
Yes.
Hi, are you Linda's mom?
Yes.
What I'm gonna need you to do is grab a pen and paper and write down Linda's case number, ma'am. I need you to hurry up, please, ma'am.
Case number?
It's the number 2.
2?
The letter B as in boy. Can you read that back to me?
2, B.
Now, I'm gonna read what's going on, ma'am, okay?
Okay.
Linda was involved in a car accident. It was stated in the police report. She admitted that was her fault. While she was driving, she was using her phone. That's what caused the accident, ma'am, okay?
Oh, man.
The woman that was driving the other vehicle was 7 months pregnant. We had to rush her into the nearby hospital. She might lose her baby.
Oh, really?
Yes. Now, we actually confiscating her cell phone for legal evidence, so she cannot receive or cannot make calls. This is going to be her only last call. Are you with me, ma'am?
Yes, I am.
Now, she actually wrote a note down here saying that she didn't want anyone to know about this. Let's honor her wish for right now because it's too much for her right now. That's what she's saying.
Okay.
What I'm going to need you to do, ma'am, is stay by the phone and wait for the lawyer to call, okay?
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye, ma'am.
All right, bye.
So that was an actual video of a grandparent scammer trying to target that elderly woman. The good news is the guy that hacked into the camera was able to reach the potential victim and warn her, so that victim didn't lose any money. But that's a fascinating example of how these grandparent scams work. And I want to point out a couple things too, right? So first of all, the scammer, he impersonates the daughter and the police officer, right? He calls up, he makes it sound like is a female voice in distress, right? And then he switches over real quick and he impersonates a police officer. And there's a couple of interesting things going on. When he switches over to impersonate the police officer, he starts playing a police scanner chatter in the background, right? You start hearing like police noises in the background. And there's a couple of things that stick out too, right? Notice how he tells the victim, the potential victim, that he confiscated her daughter's phone, right? That's for a specific reason. That's so the victim doesn't try to call the daughter and confirm she's not really in jail. Right. And then he also, the request for confidentiality. Remember that red flag we were talking about earlier? That request for confidentiality was when he said that her daughter's embarrassed about the arrest and asked her to not to tell anybody. Right. So that's that request for confidentiality that the scammer squeezes in there. So that's all part of the scam. And what's interesting about the scam too is what we just watched was actually a scam opener. So you notice how he got the victim on the hook, got him on the call. And then what he does is he says, all right, stand by and we're going to have the law offices or whatever reach back to you. Right. And that's where he hands it off to closers. And we're going to read some more about those too. But that's a grandparent scam. It's important to be aware of. You know, they impersonate your loved ones and pretend that they're in jail. And they target specifically, it's called a grandparent scam because it targets specifically, you know, grandparents and elderly or older folks. And just one more thing to go over about one of these grandparent scams. One sec. So who we just witnessed, that was actually a scammer from the Dominican Republic. And we have this article that actually talks about that same scam, right? And some of these scammers got indicted in New Jersey, federal court. And it was a group of Dominican Republican scammers. They're from the Dominican Republic. And they were running this scam, a grandparent scam, that defrauded elderly Americans out of millions of dollars. They were able to extradite the men from the Dominican Republic. The 11 people they indicted, so 11 of these scammers. And it alleged the conspirators engaged in a long-running grandparent or family in need of bail scam against hundreds of seniors across the United States, including New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, and Massachusetts. One
one of the guys indicted, alleged to have led a network of call centers in the Dominican Republic. Right, so they're working out of call centers. There's groups of these scammers working out of call centers as well. And as detailed in the court filings, members of the conspiracy referred to as openers, that's who we just witnessed was an opener, right, called elderly victims in the United States and impersonated the victims' children, grandchildren, or other close relatives. The call centers use technologies to make it appear that the calls are coming from inside the United States. So there we go back to the caller ID and how these scammers manipulate it, right? So when they're calling you impersonating, the law, sheriff's office or police department, they're going to show a number that looks like it's from that area. Typically, the victim was told their grandchild had been in a car accident, was arrested in connection with an accident, and needed help, right? That's what we just listened to. That's the opener. Once the openers tricked the victims into believing their loved ones were in dire trouble, others working at the call centers, known as closers, allegedly impersonate the defense attorneys, police officers, or court personnel, and convince the victims to provide thousands of dollars in cash to help their loved ones, right? And that's an important thing to recognize here, right? You have the opener that hooks the victim, but then you have the closers, and they impersonate defense attorneys and try to get money from that way. Then they impersonate police officers and try to get money from that way. Then they impersonate court personnel and try to get money that way. They don't stop until the victim has no money left. And they're doing this to people like grandparents, So anyway, that's a grandparent scam. And there was a group in the Dominican Republic doing it. One of them got busted up. I don't know if it's the same guy in that video. It'd be nice if it was. But who knows? But beware of these grandparent scams. Could go over, I'm just going to go over one more scam here. We're going to go over a wrong number scam and then wrap up this live stream unless we get a bunch more viewers suddenly pop in. Which a wrong number scam might be the one to do it. All right, this next scam, common scam we're going to talk about is a wrong number scam. And this is actually a type of scam. This is more of an opener type of scam, right? It's used, the wrong number scam, the whole point of it is to hook new victims. And then it evolves eventually into like a romance scam or a crypto scam, pig butchering scam. When we were reading about the pig butchering scams earlier in the headlines, it mentioned that they get started by wrong number, incorrect number claims. But anyway, that's the scam we're going to go over is a wrong number scam. And basically, scammers send messages claiming they've reached the wrong number to initiate the conversation. Over time, they manipulate the victims for money or personal details. I have examples of this wrong number scam. And if you've ever wondered why you get so many text messages from, they say, oh, wrong number, it's because it's part of a scam. So the thing with the wrong number scam, and we did a video about this one, it could start in many ways. It could start with a simple message that just says, excuse me, is this Emma? It could start with, hey, Anna, I'm Josie. Or it could just start with a random text message that says, hi. The whole point of these wrong number scam text messages, it can start in any way. Like any random text message, the whole point is to get you to reply. Whether the reply is, who is this? Or the reply is wrong number. They want you to reply. That's the whole trick. So they'll start with a message that's confusing. One might say, have a cup of coffee together sometime. And the whole point is to confuse you, to reply back with, who is this? And then once you reply back, they say, oh, I'm sorry, I had the wrong number. Right? And then you say, okay, good, have a good day, no problem. But then they try to continue conversation. I just realized I entered the wrong area code, where are you from? That's a wrong number scam. That's how you hook new victims. And they try to build up a friendship with the victim through this wrong number. And usually they'll eventually ask you to continue talking on WhatsApp or Telegram and then try to sell you cryptocurrency. Here's an example. I received this one. This one was actually sent directly to me. Sometimes they'll include a picture, an attractive woman to get a response. In this case, this one just says, hi, Byron, I'm Jane. And I include this picture. I didn't reply. The message came in at 1:58 p.m. And I didn't reply. And exactly 4 hours later on the dot, they sent a follow-up saying, have you gotten the pictures I sent? So, these start off as a bot. They're programmed to send you a text, and some will include a picture. When we did the wrong number scam video, when we did a video on this that you can view on our YouTube channel, when I gave this example, lots of people left comments on that, and A lot of people confirm getting the exact same message, exact same picture, and it's all part of a scam. It eventually leads into a pig butchering scam. So watch out for wrong number scams. Look, the best thing to do is not even reply to wrong numbers. You don't want to even reply. Because at the very least, then you're acknowledging that you saw their message or a scam. Yeah, and you shouldn't do it. Just report as junk and delete them. So watch out for wrong number scams. And I think we're gonna go wrap up this live stream now. Unless there's any last minute people jumping in the chat. Yeah, all right. Well, that's all for this live stream, folks. Thank you for attending our weekly Thursday Scam Awareness live stream from scamaware101.com. We do this live stream every Thursday. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please click that subscribe button. You can also join our free mailing list. Just receive reminders and some scam awareness tips. We won't abuse you. If you join our mailing list, we won't send you any junk. We won't sell your information. So go to scamware101.com and click join mailing list. Appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next week. Have a great week. And as always, stay safe.